doing, because I can't say on camera that I want Spurs to win, so there you go.
Okay, fair enough. And to your right, Will Brazier from Sport on Social Corner. Will, remind the viewers what your role is and how they can get in touch with the show.
Yeah, get your questions in at Football Daily, at Soccer AM, using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Get your questions in, but make sure they're good questions.
Yeah, make sure they're good questions, and we'll read the best ones out. Worth pointing out, before we get into the Spurs versus Man United chat, there was an earlier game today. Everton 2, Bournemouth 0 it finished. These were the scenes at full time.
Wet.
Very wet, Goodison Park. Yes, Kurt Zouma and Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a late second goal. All 3 points go to Everton. A good entertaining game, that, but Everton take all 3 points. There's one of the goal scorers, yes. So this is what it does to the Premier League table. Here is the bottom of the Premier League table as things currently stand. Huddersfield starting to go a bit adrift, Dave, aren't they, Huddersfield?
Dead and buried.
Points behind Fulham. So they lie bottom, 11 points from 22 games. Fulham and Newcastle make up the rest of the bottom three. Worth pointing out, Fulham with the worst goal difference in the league, and Cardiff and Southampton only a point above the relegation zone.
What a big
very
Southampton that was against Leicester.
Massive victory for Southampton with 10 men as well in that game. Let's have a look at the top of the table.
Oh dear.
Big win for Liverpool yesterday, thanks to that Mo Salah penalty. Puts them 7 points clear. Worth pointing out, of course, Man City do have that game in hand. They play Wolves in the Monday Night Football. Wolves, who did get points the last time they played against Man City. Spurs will go second with a win today against Man United. Man City will then have that game in hand. Arsenal are fifth, and Manchester United down in sixth. But Dave, as an Arsenal fan, come to you. Man United only 3 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand.
What was it? It was only like beginning of December. We were about 12 points clear, weren't we? So it's not been the best couple of weeks, has it?
Are you worried?
I just want Unai to play our best 11. Okay. And then win, lose or draw, it is what it is. Stop all this, just play your best 11.
Tactically speaking, don't think there's a team in the world who thinks Mesut Ozil doesn't add anything to our matchday squad.
So my biggest issue with Mesut is that, like, if we are not going to play him, he has to be moved on so we can free up some money. It's stupid.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to Mesut Ozil in this January transfer window. We've got to talk about Man United, got to talk about Spurs. Is a huge game for both clubs. Man United doing very well under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The question that everyone is talking about is Pochettino. Chris, come to you here.
Go on.
Pochettino, he keeps getting linked with Manchester United. Obviously, Solskjaer's doing we've got to point out that Solskjaer's doing a very good job at Man United. The big question that's on your screen now, will Poch stay at Spurs?
What do you think? To your heart, seeing those words?
I mean, I don't want to ask it, but I
feel like this is the third Football Social in a row where we've talked about this, and the fact those rumours won't go away. Yeah. Nothing's come out. Well, Poch hasn't come out to totally dismiss them, has he? Would suggest that he's a little bit enticed by the prospect of taking over at United. Like you said, Manchester United in the ascendancy at the minute. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the only manager, I think, to have a perfect winter period. So was it 4 wins out of 4 for him during that period? And I think he'd be the first Manchester United manager to win his first 6 games. If he
first manager ever if they win today.
He can claim victory today. Will Poch go to Manchester United? And will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be in contention? I feel like, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will only get the job, I feel, if they miss out on their top targets, much in the same way that David Moyes got the job by virtue of being, number 6 on the list, and Manchester United, the powers that be, working their way down. But I still think Real Madrid's a more likely destination, but he's got to be looking at the next 2 or 3 sort of transfer windows and thinking, if I don't have the money to spend, is this the best shape my squad is ever going to be in?
It's worth pointing out, McCubbin, as well, for the Spurs fans watching as well, we can caveat that by saying Poch does seem happy at Spurs. His body language is that he came out in the press and said he can see himself managing for 20 years if the opportunities are with him. There is a risk factor leaving Tottenham going to Man United, isn't there? We've seen so many managers, high-profile managers, go to Man United and it hasn't worked out.
True, but I don't. The one thing I would say is that Pochettino has a record at Spurs, which obviously Van Gaal had a great record before. Won a lot of things. Mourinho as well, but both of those managers had also a reputation of shaking things up to the point where the players start hating on them.
Yeah.
And
shelf life.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I can't think of how long Van Gaal had actually been at a certain club. I guess in the Ajax in the 90s he was there for a while, but generally speaking, I think Pochettino seems like kind of exemplary compared to anyone we've looked at before. I think he would be the perfect candidate.
If we're talking Man United candidates, we've got to mention big news in a lot of the papers today and social media. Gareth Southgate linked to the manager. Where do you stand with that?
I think that'd be a bad appointment for United.
Do you? Why?
I think he is a good England manager. I think he's a good international manager where he can get the best out of 11 players. But is he the kind of manager to take United back to where they should be, in my eyes, which is challenging for the title? I don't think it's anywhere near that level. Yeah. Despite doing a very extremely overperformed massively in the summer with England. I don't think he's good enough of a club manager to do a job with Man United.
And a similar thing, like we said with Pochettino, there's a risk factor. He's got it very good with England at the minute. The fans love him. There's a risk factor of him leaving England and going to Man United. It doesn't work out for him, and then he finds himself in a worse position than if he left in the first place.
I feel you kind of get the sense as well. He's actually building something with England as well. Like there's no reason for him to go. You know,
that's exactly why I think Southgate will stay at England and Pochettino will stay at Spurs. So I think they're both building something quite special at both. Other names in the hat, Zidane, obviously, months ago, seems to be a lot of United's fans'
Well, surely if they were going to do that, they'd have done that on their last appointment, surely, for me.
You can't see Zidane.
I honestly, like with Spurs, and I think Spurs is a more attractive proposition than United is for the next 10 years. So for the whole Poch thing, I think that just starts the merry-go-round. If obviously Poch goes to Madrid, then who fills in there as well, going around that way.
Chris, any other names? It's Man United, a huge club, of course. They're bound to be looking at other candidates.
Maybe they're... I mean, by employing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it would suggest they're going to take a good 6 months to overhaul behind the scenes too. They've been trying to get a director of football in, been going after RB Leipzig's chief, who sort of worked with Pochettino before, which has only added fuel to the fire in terms of their pursuit of Maurizio. Max Allegri is another candidate, quite possibly. Unbelievable pedigree, over the last 7 years, 6-7 years, has won the Scudetto with AC Milan, with Juventus, and he has that presence, doesn't he? He has that. You can see him at the helm of Manchester United. But I actually kind of disagree a little bit with Will, and this is, maybe for the first time in a long time, because Will's a very,
First time you disagreed with him.
You know what that is? I don't say anything that's very divisive.
OK, he disagrees on what?
He's a very agreeable bloke, but in the Tottenham are a more appealing proposition to Manchester United over the next 10 years. I think the core of a very good Manchester United team is there. Manchester United have got the money to spend at the drop of a hat. And Spurs, it's going to be tough waters to navigate moving into that new stadium and absorbing that cost and the excess over the next 3 or 4 years. And I think maybe the average age of the squads is pretty similar right now as well. Sort of 26, 27. So I would think Manchester United, whoever inherits that squad, as long as they're the right profile, as long as those players suit that manager, which Pochettino, it seems like he's tailor-made to inherit that squad, I think they could make a really good fist of it, like Dave says, and kind of bounce back pretty quickly.
OK, let's have a look at the team news. It is in... first up, this is the Spurs team. Couple of changes for Pochettino's men. 2 defensive changes, in fact, from the Spurs side that beat Cardiff last time out in the Premier League. Jan Vertonghen is back from injury, which is great news for Spurs, and Ben Davies. They both start in place of Davinson Sanchez and Danny Rose, who both dropped to the bench. Spurs, interestingly, playing with that diamond formation that they have changed to this season. That's worked wonders for them, has to be said. Scored a lot of goals over the Christmas period, playing with that diamond and with Son and Kane up front. Worth pointing out as well, this will be Son's last game before he goes back to represent his country in another tournament. Played so much football, Jimmy Son. Another tournament.
Are you convinced by that midfield, Smithy? Does that scream Champions League midfield to you?
Sissoko has actually been one of our most informed players, to be fair to him. Dyer's coming back. He's obviously been out with appendicitis, so he's coming back in the side. Wanyama's out.
It looks better as a diamond than a 4-2-3-1, I'll say that.
It does look better as a diamond. I think I'm not too disheartened by that. I think obviously the front four, I call them a front four because they are the foremost attacking players of Eriksen, Ali, Son and Kane have been fantastic. Where I do get where you're coming from is I think if we are to strengthen, that sort of midfield area is an area that we do need to strengthen. Especially midfield, if Moussa Dembele, as reports are to suggest, does go to China. So it'll be interesting to see if Pochettino does spend money this January. So look at the Man United team. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also making 2 changes from United's 2-0 Premier League win at Newcastle. Ashley Young and Jesse Lingard are named in the starting 11 as United seek to avoid a 4th consecutive league away defeat to Spurs. Juan Mata drops to the bench whilst Antonio Valencia does not make the matchday squad at all. amidst reports of a possible departure from Old Trafford. McCubbin, United fan, come to you
Yes.
first. Thoughts on that United team?
I'm relatively happy with it. I think Lukaku could do with a start.
Yeah, you surprised Lukaku's not starting?
I'm slightly surprised.
'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
slightly
quite
surprised.
surprised at that,
I think he's done really well to kind of find form again. I think he had obviously a pretty shocking start to the season.
Yeah.
Received a lot of stick, and quite understandably has been kind of less confident as a result. But I'm really happy to see him kind of just getting goals again.
Scoring with
because I
his
love
first
him.
touch.
Yeah, he did against
last week,
Newcastle.
right?
Didn't he? I'm relatively happy. It's good to see Rashford in a centre forwards role as well, but I would like to see Lukaku.
Yeah, these are the live shots at Wembley Stadium. As you can see, players walking out, kick-off moments where get your questions in. Will is on social corner. We'll be taking the best questions. There you can see the players coming out. So I'm just choking on. What's that?
Marcus Rashford has had 9 goal involvements in his last 8 games. So that would, it's not going to be to the side's detriment that Lukaku isn't there, but he could be a great option to come off the bench. I was really surprised to see, I think this is in Premier League football, that he's got 98 goals in 199 appearances. I think this would be his 200th appearance.
Who?
Lukaku, should he come on in this game. And that, I mean, given that kind of poor run of form late, that's still extremely impressive.
Yeah,
isn't it?
someone so young as well.
Yeah.
The fact that he was playing for Everton for much of that time as well, who aren't a top
West
four
Brom.
side. Yeah,
We're talking about in on-song forwards, maybe. Harry Kane, 7 goal involvements in 6 games. Son, 11 in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That's the most prolific front pairing, of late in the Premier League.
Yes, it's a good point you mentioned about if you look at Kane and Son. I mean, Son's been the most informed player in December with goals and assists. Has the most goals and joint most assists in the Premier League in the last 6 weeks. But there's an unbelievable stat about Son and Kane when they've played together. Their goal scoring. This is a goal scoring stat when starting together. They've scored 110 goals combined in 82 starts for Tottenham.
Wow.
So maybe that's a reason why. We just saw shots of Pochettino there, both managers. Maybe that's a reason why that he switched to a diamond to play them as a front two, because whenever they play together, one of them seems to score, Dave. They're fantastic front two, aren't they?
Yeah, they are extremely good.
That's what you want to say on the matter as an Arsenal fan.
Well, isn't it? Kane's been dropping deeper anyway, isn't it?
Kane he has been playing.
Son's almost been doing
his
his
number 10.
Look at that little Photoshop job there from.
Will, whilst we're with you, let's go to social corner. What do people
Alfonso
say?
Henrique says, "What does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer need to do to stay next season?"
Good question. Because they've had a great start. What is it? What does he have to do to get the Man United job full time?
He needs to do the impossible. I think he needs to get top 4 and win a trophy. I think that's
Any trophy?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Obviously Champions League. I think is again absolute pipe dream. And so is top 4. So I don't think he's going to get. I don't think he's going to get the job. But if he did do something miraculous like that, and if Chelsea suddenly drop off and we can kind of make up ground, then maybe. But I think that's at least what he'd have to do to get the job.
I agree. Combined with the fact that United's top 3 or 4 targets say no to them as well, because then it's kind of an easy fix for a year, isn't it? Maybe a 12-month rolling contract or something of the like.
I think it was a really smart appointment. It got the fans back on side, and I feel like it actually brought the board time to think about who do we actually want, rather than it's just go quick knee like kind of jerk reaction. So I think they'll still have their number 1 target in mind, and I think that this actually buys them time to actually make sure it's the right appointment, rather than is it going to be someone's going to come in for 12 months?
At the minute, I do feel like it's kind of Pochettino or bust. That's what it's starting to. How
to an extent,
it's starting to develop.
Which would be great.
Which is a bit of a dangerous situation to get into. It is a bit of a dangerous.
How much will he be a factor today, Michael? Man on screen now looking at Paul Pogba.
But yeah, he's been in great form. I think 7 goal involvements in since Solskjaer's taken over, which is more than what he'd managed in something like 17, 18 games.
He's a much better player under Ole Gunnar than he was under Jose.
He is. Yeah, for sure. He's just happy, isn't he? I think that's the main thing. I think even under Mourinho, I think he, again, a player who just got too much stick. I think he was always prone to mistakes, and I think that was due to a lack of confidence. But he was still, his in-game numbers still looked pretty good even under Mourinho. But when he's scoring and getting assists, it clearly lifts his confidence and lifts the other.
I want to stay with you on that point, because we're talking about the difference under Mourinho and Solskjaer, not just for Pogba, but this is for Man United in the Premier League this season. Of course, there's been a lot less games under Ollie, it's worth pointing out, as we all know. But
also
more
played
goals
again.
Man United have scored, less goals conceded, better shots on target, better passing accuracy, better forward passing, better percentage of passes short, better sprints, better possession, and better shots on target, all under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer
It's crazy,
than Jose. Now, that to me, would that imply that there was players that weren't given their all under Jose Mourinho? Because
sure.
that's not more goals. That's across the board. They're defending better, shooting better.
I mean,
what do you put that down to?
I put it down to the players. Well, I mean, partly I think the players between themselves and with Solskjaer's relatively relaxed approach have been able to just tactically, in some ways, play better than what Mourinho was doing. I think Mourinho was switching things up so much. There was so little confidence in the side. Clearly, I think a lot of players weren't. I don't think were playing for Mourinho.
Who did United play in that run? It was Cardiff, Huddersfield.
Yeah, another factor.
Favourable fixture.
Yeah, and they were still defensively suspect there.
Yeah.
United just wasting two chances to sort of spring a counter there. So looking lively.
Yeah, we have kicked off a minute into the game. Richard Pochettino, looking at him now, 4 of his last 6 games against Man United, he has 1. He's got a very good record against Man United, Poch. Of course, Man United did beat Spurs at this ground, at Wembley Stadium, in the FA Cup semi-final last season. But other than that, he's got a very, very good record. Spurs beating Man United at Old Trafford this season 3-0, of course, and they got the first chance of the game. Trippier whips. Let's go back to you. What are people saying? You're getting your predictions in? I'm intrigued to know who people think are the favourites for this one, Will.
Yeah,
United on a good run of form, but Spurs are higher in the league.
Lots of people thinking that United could spring the surprise, and people just wanted to get the score predictions in from the boys.
OK. Chris, we'll start with you. What's your score prediction?
I said it on Sunday Vibes, and I'm going to stick with it. 3-1 to Tottenham.
OK.
Interesting.
Man United fan?
I'm going to be optimistic. I'm not overly optimistic, but for the sake of this show, I'm going to be optimistic and say 2-1 United.
Okay.
But Spurs will go ahead through Human's song.
OK.
Parting gift before he goes to the cup.
I'm going to say 1-1, just partly because of the fact that, Spurs have not drawn a
Classic
game.
Spurs fan on the fence.
I will be gutted with the point. I think we should be to how far both these teams have, how far Tottenham have come and Man United in recent years, that I think we should be winning a game like this. But I just think that we will draw this game. I think United will score. And it's incredible that Spurs haven't drawn a Premier League match all season. I think it's like in the first top 10 tiers of English football, the only team not to have drawn a game. I think PSV are one of the only other teams in Europe to not have drawn a game. So I just feel that's got to end at some point. And I expect both teams to score. So I'm going 1-0. Dave?
3-1 Man United.
3-1 Man United?
Yeah,
OK, which would be bad for you because it means Man United are creeping up on Arsenal.
It is what it is. I'm going to say 3-1 Man United.
I'm going to go 3-3, Phil Jones to score first.
You like a 3-3 prediction, don't you?
Well, yeah, I'm all about the content, on a Smithy, so if we get that, imagine the atmosphere in this new arena.
New studio.
Arena's great.
Yeah,
It's like an arena.
People don't understand as well, this is actually a
Content is
house.
life.
Yeah.
There's a kitchen that's been done out there, lovely. So.
Adam Smith's house, so if you want to come round, put your address on the screen,
Why not?
Very nice. This is actually a fold-out bed as well, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't
I've
it?
stayed here a few nights.
Illustrate it?
Not now.
Cheeky little futon.
So we are 3 minutes in. Quite a cagey, slow start to the match. Not a lot to report so far. United going for that, as Chris said earlier, 6th straight win under Solskjaer, be the first manager.
Is there any news about the stadium? Like it's like an actual question, not winding you up. Like when are you going to move into your stadium?
The latest reports, I was reading into this actually because it is a growing concern amongst a lot of Spurs fans. The latest reports are Crystal Palace is rumoured to be the first game is in March in the new stadium, but they haven't had the safety checks yet. They have to have safety checks before the dates can be released as to when.
Do you not think it'd be better just to scrap this season, play the rest fixtures at Wembley, and have a proper start to the new season in the new stadium?
It's a good question that, and
cheers, mate.
It probably is. I'm sort of on the fence with it a little bit because our producer Phil thinks so. He's a big Spurs fan. I don't know. I'm just so eager to get in the new stadium. I just think it would. Spurs are sort of outside in the title race.
I think it would kickstart rushing into it just out of sheer embarrassment.
I think it could work positively. It could work positive in the title race.
You're in the title race.
Do you not think there could be betting in problems though? Do you not think there could be betting in problems in the same way at Wembley? Obviously, White Hart Lane as a location is more familiar, but because
it's the same, it's similar pitch dimensions, it's the same location. It's not like going to Wembley, which is
a spiritual postcode. I probably think Pochettino and the fact you've got a really good team is the largest contributing factor.
Do you like the look of it? Honestly,
it's incredible.
It looks
honestly
incredible.
It is incredible.
And the fans that have been taught, they've taken fans on tours, sympathy tours.
They did a ballot for people to win a tour.
And everyone's raving about it.
It is honestly incredible. That's not me as a Spurs fan, but
you haven't got disco lights, have you, like Celtic Park?
So we haven't. Celtic chat, do you want to get the Celtic chat out of the way, Chris? Update on Celtic?
No, I'll just be punctuating your, Spurs nonsense with FPL as I go along.
As I thought.
But I just think it looks like a lifeless bowl myself. But.
Nice.
A lifeless bowl.
You would say that.
Looks
No,
like
it's true. No, but
looks like a big St Mary's.
First price boost on our
Oh,
screen.
go on, Smith. Let's have it, mate. Let's have it.
Courtesy of our friends at Skybet, we'll be giving you price boosts throughout the day. Sun to score first in a hot run of form, of course. That was 11-2. That is now 13-2. Great odds that for Sun to score first. You must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. For more odds, go to skybet.com, of course. And to give you some content to that, Heung-min Son has the most goals, 7, and joint most assists, 4 in the Premier League in the last 6 weeks. Never scored against Man United, though. I was amazed that he did not win Player of the Month, Premier League. I was amazed at that. He was, incredible.
Won the last 10 Premier League of the month.
He's been incredible. Aubameyang won it, but obviously he's been well. But he's had quiet games as well. Obviously,
Wasn't it Van Dijk and Klopp? They won it. Yeah, they won December, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it not Klopp and Van Dijk, or was it the month before?
Aubameyang won the you're right. Van Dijk and Aubameyang won the last 2, but Heung-min Son's been consistent.
It's a yellow, isn't it?
Wasn't great.
He's off. He's off. Send him off. Send him off.
He's done.
He's not. Oh, look who's refereeing. Look who's refereeing.
He's refereeing. There's
12 against 11 here already.
I actually thought Shaw was quite lucky there. Maybe not. Body checked a little bit.
It's a coming together between Harry Kane and Luke Shaw.
Kane's got that in his game,
odd
Very
defending.
vicious player.
He is. He should be. Look, he should be.
Foul beforehand from Pogba.
Classic Sunday league. You've been done, and then you want to get one back on the opposition.
Yeah, exactly that. So a bit of a bit
Always had a
feisty
problem
there.
with
Tit for
Hazard.
tat.
This team's lovely, brother.
Smithy, I mean, we got the
Go on.
same cheat sheet before this, game started.
Yeah, stats boys.
Shock horror, we don't, gather our own stats. But who was the last team that Manchester United lost 3 away games to? Of course, you can emulate that here.
We can
And
emulate
what
it here.
year was it in?
Oh, it's the last team. Good question. We like a bit of stats on this show. The last team that Man United lost 3 away games. Am I right in thinking it was Swansea or someone random like that?
No, it was actually Everton.
Swansea's the last team to do the double over Man United.
Yes, that is
that's
correct.
Right.
Almost.
Right,
Had it,
both
but
right,
Everton
yeah.
in 1984.
There you go.
Every day's a school day, and the more you learn, the more you earn. All right.
Stats based quiz. I mean, we will be
School
giving you
kids.
more trivia as the show goes on. We've got Bradley, our expert stats man, on the show. We'll be giving you more. Will, let's come to you. I know that we've got a lot of viewers, a lot of questions flooding our tweets, flooding our stream. Remind the viewers how they can get in touch.
Yeah, it's at SoccerAM, at
everywhere.
Football Daily, using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Get involved. There's a question here from John Michael Tavern. He says, who has got the best youth talent in the Premier League?
Oh, good question.
Like that. I thought while the game's a little bit slow, just bed you in with a nice little question like that.
Do you know what? I think this brings us nicely on to the issue that Chelsea are having in the January transfer window because...
What then, son? Oh, lovely ball. Harry! Oh! The other Harry
First
as
chance
well.
of the game. Lovely little build-up. We spoke
Should've
about the
scored.
relationship that Heung-min Son and Harry Kane have.
Nuts!
Lovely pass,
Oh
but
my
Harry Kane
God.
drags it just wide. Trippier whips the
Trippier.
ball in.
Harry Winks, I
That was Harry Winks,
Harry
sorry.
Winks, yeah.
Lovely pass from
Should have
Winks.
scored, Smithy. You should have scored, mate.
That was brilliant.
Big
by
first
Trippier
chance.
then.
Have a look at it again.
Trippier's just sent Shaw for
Lovely
a
pass from
hot
Eriksen.
dizzle there.
And it's Heung-min Son.
That is a lovely little reverse ball, isn't it? Great run from Harry Winks as well. Look.
Heung-min Son into
What's
Harry
Nick
Winks.
Shaw doing?
Oh, and he just drags it
Poor effort
just
in the
wide.
end, isn't it? Just wide. It almost went off for a throw-in.
Yeah, is it shot across? I can't know what he was thinking there.
He was going for
Generous.
back post tapping, wasn't he?
We'll stick with the corner, then we'll go back to the question. Trippier whips one in.
Oh, bit of a push.
Go on.
Go on, Harry.
And it's over the bar.
He's normally got a lovely technique as well, just outside the box, shooting from range, hasn't he?
David De Gea also got a
scored a
new
lot of
haircut
goals,
as well.
Yes.
Bit
David
fancy,
De's got a new haircut.
Yeah.
What's he gone for?
It's just like that classic, when
that's
it's
my
cool
favourite subject.
and you've got, you can just pull it off. It's just a 1 all over.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe a 3.
One all over, is it?
No, not a 1. Maybe a 4.
One's, that's short. Interesting, look, there's no one picking Harry Winks up on the edge of the box
He's
here.
had a-
Absolutely no one there. Boys,
should have done better.
He's got a lot of time as well. No one tracking him down.
Didn't come
Two
out
big
fast enough,
chances.
Yeah, no.
Should have done better.
4 all
Whose man
over.
was that? Who's not picking him up? Pogba? No.
I mean, Pogba goes for it, classically.
It's a strange clearance, that. But it leads to
Should be
nothing
getting
because
that, but-
Winks plays over the bar. Back to your question, it was best youth talent.
Yeah, who's got the best up-and-coming talent as a collective?
Up and coming.
Not like individuals, but who's
The point I want to make about the youth team is that you look at the YTS league, that Chelsea have won everything at youth team level for like the last 5 years, notably when Jody Morris was there, who's obviously Frank Lampard's assistant now at Derby, but they won treble after treble on absolutely everything. And the lack of those people, the lack of Chelsea youth team talent that actually made it into the first team is staggering. And also, I believe they've got the most players out on loan of any Premier League team.
Yeah.
And you witnessed it with Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I thought was one of their best players
According
against Spurs.
to transfer,
didn't play.
They've got the Premier League apparently has 120 youngsters out on loan.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea are responsible for 40 of those,
think it's 40,
which is a good indication of how much talent they've been hoarding, and that's led to Hudson-Odoi. I think it would be a very positive move for him to go to Bayern Munich. He's only competing with Serge Gnabry there. He's not Sarri traditionally does not give youth a chance. No. He's very set in his ways, likes to stick with a consistent 11. So I can see that being a very, very tempting move for him. But we actually had a conversation about this on Continental Club, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
How young English...
Chance for Man United! Lingard! Oh, no! Jesse Lingard shanks it over the bar.
Lamb shanks
Stupid
it.
thing on his chin.
Big chance, Mark Cubbin. Talk us through this one.
Well, it comes out to Herrera. Great ball and great touch from Herrera there.
Great touch.
Lays it back to Ashley Young, and then it's a good ball as well.
And he should do better here. He's 6 yards out.
A lot of bodies in front of him.
Similar to Harry Winks, both of them having a lot of time on the ball, but they've just not composed themselves, leaning back.
Kieran Trippier does well there. I think he'd block that, wouldn't he? But yeah, good to see United get in behind, because I didn't see a lot of that in the Chelsea Spurs game.
No.
In the League Cup, I thought Chelsea tried, but I thought Spurs were so solid.
Didn't you find that was amazing for a match involving two of the top six? How few chances there were in that game.
Oh yeah, I mean I was watching.
Oh,
it.
lovely
I was
ball. Go on! Marcus Rashford
effort.
and saved by Lewis. The
Check
game is picking up. Get your comments to us.
Marcus.
Yeah, it was a game that had very little chances, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was completely bored in the second half. I was kind of half watching it because I just couldn't be bothered anymore. But not great for a football YouTuber to say that, but it's what it is. But yeah, but this game's already come to life. It's last 3 minutes. Really,
we are 11 minutes gone. One chance for Spurs with two chances actually, both falling to Harry Winks, and a couple for United. Jesse Lingard should have seen a goal in this game, but it's still 0-0. Spurs on the attack, and it's fairly open game. Good question that. So we think Chelsea are one that sort of.
Yeah,
don't give opportunities to young talent, I think, is the way to phrase it.
But young English talent are getting a lot braver in terms of moving abroad to find their opportunities. We were looking at various talent from the Eredivisie. We were looking at Jonathan Panzo, for example, has just left Chelsea to go to Monaco. He was England's captain at under-17 level when they got to the European Cup European Championship final. He was thought of very highly, and they offered him a long-term contract, but he'd rather, test himself in Liga. And I think it's great.
Go on then.
Here we
go.
Go
on then.
Anthony. Oh, Anthony. You won't want anyone else on the end of that either.
Anthony, it's still a chance for United.
Ball.
Peter's out. Peter's out.
Really good opportunity, that.
I tell you what, United are getting at Spurs here on the counter.
Yeah, they are. Do you know what I was interested to see? The fact that Jan Vertonghen was back, I was always interested to see, because Spurs played very well when we played as a back three. And you mentioned the issue that Spurs have with a lack of strength and depth in the midfield area. I remember saying a couple of weeks ago, when Jan's fit, I'd be intrigued to know whether he will play as a three, because our wing-backs are much better at going forward than they are at defending. Obviously, Trippier's assist record's brilliant, but he's better going forward than he is defensively.
100%.
So I'll be interested to see, now that they're all three are fit, whether Poch goes back to the three that he played with the one DM and pushing the forwards up, because they're three very good centre-backs. And interestingly, you've actually got a lot of joy in that area today already. So it'd be interesting to see if he looks to change it and bring Davinson Sanchez off and change his formation if United keep getting this joy.
Yeah, Sanchez has tended to play very well against United.
He has, hasn't he?
Past,
yeah.
As well. So. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, actually. Yeah, we're getting a lot more joy than I expected.
And a lot of people think that Toby's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but think that he is the best centre-back Spurs have. For years now, Jan Vertonghen has been the most consistent centre-back for Tottenham. He was the fans' player of the season last year. When you think Harry Kane scored 40-odd goals, Dele Alli, Heung-min Son, Jan Vertonghen was player of the season. So great to see those two back in the heart of defence. Will, any more questions from the stream?
Well, we didn't really answer the youth setup question.
We spoke about Chelsea. Any other clubs?
Anyone else come up
Dave,
on anyone's horizons?
Arsenal have gone downhill in that respect. There was a time in the mid-noughties we were producing talent after talent. They were either being sold for a couple of million or kind of moving on. And we've got obviously Reece Nelson out on loan at Hoffenheim. We've got a few kind of kids coming through, but there's nothing to really shout about.
Smith Rowe and Maitland-Niles, though, I think, are both very talented players.
Is it Joe Willock?
Yeah, mate.
Joe Willock's good, but
he scored a brace against Blackpool in the FA Cup. At least Unai is rotating for competitions.
Yeah, which
so
is
we're seeing a little
yeah,
bit of it.
in like the similar fashion that like obviously like Arsene Wenger used to do. So yeah, I think the thing with Arsenal, these kids they definitely get their chances.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the one blessing you get at Arsenal over some of the other big clubs. You will definitely get a chance at Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not you can grab it and actually establish yourself as like an actual starter.
I've got a question in, and I promise I haven't written it.
Go on.
It's from Villa
Is
on
it around
top.
Birmingham?
No, it's around the Championship. It said, who's getting promoted from the Championship?
Oh, Leeds definitely.
Leeds United, I think.
What did you make of
I
Spygate?
tipped Leeds to win the league at the start
Loved
of the
it.
season, so I'm going to stick with that prediction.
Yeah?
I think Leeds. It's tough to call the other teams, aren't they? Because there's sort of, I mean, I like the look of Norwich, but and Villa have sort of slipped. Derby, there's not.
Timu Puki, ex-Celtic, absolutely killing it.
He is
Norwich.
killing it. I think Leeds.
Where was that sort of
I think
form in the SPFL?
the team to beat.
So yeah, I think Leeds.
Any other sides, McCubbin?
I don't know, Sheffield United are around there as well,
Yeah.
aren't they?
I'd love...
yeah, I think Leeds and Norwich are the two I'd be most confident about going up.
I'd quite like Middlesbrough to come up, because in the same year that someone playing total football under Bielsa comes up, I'd like a Tony Pulis side to also come up. The yin and the yang, that would be...
They're the kind of team that would get a...
ball.
Oh, Chelsea United, yes!
He's off.
Oh, dear!
Not only did McCubbin cheer that, it went wide and it was offside.
Well, you know,
be
you can't
hopeful,
blame
don't
the
you?
man for trying. That's
It's one of those that on the TV angle slightly
It
deceived
does,
that you
yeah.
thought it was going in.
I don't like
Is
it
this
when Rashford
offside?
has to finish from this position.
Yeah, clearly offside.
Offside, yeah.
But
Yeah,
again,
it's rare that he gets those opportunities, or at least he is better coming on off the
Coming
flank.
off the right, yeah.
I think he is. I think that's just where he's used to coming off the
Yeah.
last couple of years as
I
well.
feel like when it's one-on-one with the goalkeeper and it's a really straight angle, he's not...
Rashford you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not always convinced he's
Getting
going to
flashbacks of that Belgium game at the
Yeah, and I
World
don't...
Cup.
It's not just that, but I do feel like he's kind of assimilated as a wide player now, as opposed to a
Yeah.
Man United getting a bit of joy there. Though. It was offside, but it was they straight through Spurs' back line, and it was a good chance that
Oh, lovely.
Rashford 1-1. They're having a nice bit of play at United.
Herrera has been
broken up well, though.
fantastic the last
Do you know
few years,
that,
actually.
talking of Bielsa, Ander Herrera was a little playmaker under Bielsa.
No.
Not many people, realise that he had that about him.
Even
And
Van
then-
Gaal played him at number 10 at times.
And then
for
Van Gaal
United.
turned him into a full...
DM.
that's the correct...
I think it was under Mourinho that he fully... Van Gaal even toyed with him a little bit in number 10 positions and stuff. And he was actually, it was interesting. It was actually, I thought he was actually pretty decent there.
Oh,
then, him and then, Mourinho just...
Ah, well played, Pogs.
Man United again. Pogba through to Martial.
Give me a corner.
Got Anthony.
Martial
Oh,
playing through.
lovely,
And it's-
Anthony.
Oh, it's a good save,
Great
Lloris.
play.
Goes out for a corner. Anthony Martial's looked lively.
He
Very
has
lively.
done. He has
I'm a
done.
massive fan of
United's
Anthony
front
Martial.
four have looked great, actually, so far. Pogba,
I'm a big fan of Anthony Martial.
he looks like he's in the mood, does the Frenchman.
He's due a good run as well. Obviously, Rashford and Pogba have been on fire recently. But Martial's been a little bit quiet.
He had that
Not
great
been
run
a bit-
before, just in Mourinho's last sort of few games.
Yeah.
Scoring every game.
Pretty much the only person who could score for us for a
And
while.
you know when you kind of people weigh up the pros and cons of starting Rashford over Lukaku and Martial, I think only Martial has that in the Manchester United squad. That turn, those quick feet inside the box.
running at players.
That's where he is supremely natural in that regard, isn't it?
Corner for United. Ashley Young whips it in. And it is clear. I think it's Harry Kane.
Is Phil Jones up there?
I believe he is.
No one forward. Interestingly, Harry Kane, speaking of him, scored in his last 6 games in all comps, 7 goals in total. He has never scored in 7 successive club appearances. He is a 4-1 price booster. Scored first today, which is obviously good odds. Any time back in Harry Kane, he has been on fire recently. And Kane and Son together in their last 9 Premier League starts together, when Kane has not scored, Son has scored 8 goals. So one of them always scores between Kane and
I've
Son.
gone for a Harry Kane double. Can you ask, Big Chore Dog in the studio, what's the odds on that, please? 'Cause
He
I'm
can
yet to
hear you,
receive-
yeah.
Well, Phil from the heavens. Still with us, by the way. But
We will find out the odds on that. Imminently.
How
He's on
do
it.
you think Spurs are playing? How do you think Spurs are playing, mate?
I mean, we're only 19 minutes in. I don't think either team are dominating. I think United have
United are
probably had
edgy.
more chances than Spurs. Spurs have had 2
Big time.
clear-cut
Harry
chances
Winks.
as well, though. Not a lot in it so far.
United are having the ball in better positions, I think you
Yeah.
could say at the moment.
But Spurs had 2 big... Harry Winks had 2 big chances as well.
That is true. I
Clear-cut chances.
chose to kind of erase that from my memory because I kind of want United,
Free kick out.
United
Mike
to
Dean,
win.
let's play
This makes
on.
a better narrative, doesn't it?
Need a bit of Mike Dean magic, I think. I ain't got a second! Oh.
But great.
Coming together
great
there.
call.
And that
Great
is
call.
making the best bits at the end.
Yes, it is. It is.
Come on. Lindelof's been incredible in the last couple of months.
Yeah, post Mourinho, another player that's improved.
I would say that. I mean,
Even before he was easily our
Juventus,
best
for
defender.
example.
Yeah, fantastic.
Harry Kane is
Fantastic.
7-1 for a brace today. Chris Hamill, of course, says in answer to your question.
We're a tenner, isn't it?
Dog. 10 for that, yeah.
That is, of course, the Sky Bet. Full terms and conditions apply. You must be 18 plus. For more information, go to skybet.com.
Expertly done.
Smithy, the first time
Lovely.
for me, but I don't know if you've done it before. There's actually a birthday. Mark Caldwell is watching from home, and he says, "What a way to spend my birthday by watching the hashtag football social with you guys."
Happy birthday, Marky! Happy birthday. Many happy returns.
Are you going to sing Happy Birthday?
I can sing. Do you want to sing?
Yeah.
No, the viewers don't.
I bet
Mark
you've got a decent voice as well.
I bet you a crooner.
I was in the choir.
yeah.
Not anymore.
Carrying the hymn sheets.
Not
Not
anymore.
that, weren't you? You little creep.
I was in the choir. Chance for Spurs.
Oh, lucky Tottenham.
How old is Mark? Do we need to?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like to
How else
speculate
is he
with age.
spending his birthday, Mark? Let us know
Yeah,
what you're
get in
doing.
touch, Mark.
Let's get Mark a price boost.
Yeah.
Come on.
What's your main present?
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Hope it was a football.
I think it's a bike.
Football.
It'd be a bike.
What was your best present as a that you'd get as a youth? Let's stay on the birthday theme here.
Yeah.
Best
Football.
present ever.
I actually got a 95-96 Arsenal shirt.
Oh, that'd be my worst nightmare.
Right.
I still loved it. I loved it.
Was that the JVC one?
It's basically the one that I wear, but not that shirt.
Yes, that one.
'cause it'll be tiny.
My old man, despite my distinct lack of ability, finally convincing him for my birthday that he should buy me some Predators for £120.
Wow.
And that was it. That was drew a line under it after that. I wasn't getting anything else, but just those boots. You know that you get them home and you just be like, oh, God.
Smell the leather.
Staring at them. Just
When you get a mini
God.
goal for the garden, that's good, isn't it?
they didn't see many man of the match performances. I'll tell
I
you
had a
that.
mini goal in the garden once, and I actually lost a tooth because the crossbar fell on my tooth.
Did it?
Yeah, it snapped it.
Were how long did it take
Very
you
heavy
before you were level with the crossbar?
Yeah.
as a
I mean,
youth.
this was probably 7 or 8. But put that one out.
It was a full-size crossbar as well. He was already
Came out
level
5
with it.
times since.
Oh,
So
really?
I always blame that crossbar.
So that was a bad Christmas present then, obviously.
Yeah, but my best one was I got 10 WWE wrestling figures in a set. And I thought that was as good as it got. And then my dad had bought me a backstage arena.
That's
I had the backstage arena, yeah, and you press the button and it had the music, yeah. Worth pointing out, nothing of note going on in the game, hence why we're talking about wrestling figures. 22 minutes in, Hugo Lloris has the ball in his hands, plays it out to Ben Davis. Been quite a cagey game. United probably edging it in terms of better chances, but no team really dominating, so we'll go back to Social Corner.
Yeah, get
whilst
your
we've got a
questions
quiet
in.
moment.
An interesting one. We normally talk about the top 4, the top 6, but a question here from Zach, that's all he says. Who do you think will come 7th?
Okay, it's a random question.
I remember watching. So
Seventh?
after New Year's Eve, well, New Year's Day, it's commonly known as, watching Everton versus Leicester and thinking, so one of these has to finish 7th. And this is when people were talking about them catching up with United in 6th and United falling even further down the table.
Yeah.
And it was an awful 90 minutes. They played a lot of football at that point, the players, over the Christmas period.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of excuse. But I
was
just
a
thought
disappointing game, wasn't it?
distinctly off the pace when it comes to challenging the top 6. But Everton maybe just slightly edge Leicester because they maybe play a bit more of a daring brand of football. I mean, since then, Leicester have lost at home to Southampton, and the virtues of playing attacking football becoming clear under Hasenhüttl at Southampton. So I think probably Everton.
Spurs in here. Chance.
Yeah, I think probably.
I mean, in terms of
probably
stature
Everton.
of
What about you,
club,
boys?
it should be Everton, shouldn't it?
Oh, Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth.
Rogue, love it.
I mean, if they can keep hold of Callum
Just lost
Wilson,
to
which I think
Everton,
they will.
Yeah.
They did lose to Everton today, but I think they've come off. Well, they've not come off. They're still in a pretty poor run of form, but that suggests to me that they're due for an upturn at some point. And yeah, if Callum Wilson stays and kind of can find his
They've got a lot of
scoring
informed
boots,
players, really.
that's
David
their
Brooks,
best side, but, yeah.
Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson. They've got a lot of informed players, really, this season.
And David Brooks is probably the best signing they've had in years.
Yeah.
Oh, Sissoko.
Oh, Dele Alli's in.
Solanke as
Go
well.
on. Cut it back. Oh, corner for Tottenham.
How do Liverpool keep doing it? That's
Getting how much
14
money?
million they've got for Danny Ings and Solanke.
Danny Ward to Leicester, that was like 15 million.
Yeah, not
Never seen him
only
play a Premier League game.
that's essentially paid for what? They've got 6 mil and Shaqiri for one Dominic Solanke. That's
That's
crazy.
good business.
Corner for Spurs.
Profit.
24 minutes gone. I imagine Kieran Trippier will be over this. Yes, it is. Trips whips it in.
Whippers.
Oh, Harry!
Oh, Harry.
Oh, that man is a good
Harry
block,
Kane.
though.
Should have scored,
Spurs
mate.
Spurs just get a little bit of joy now in the last 5 minutes, and there's danger still not cleared, and it's a bizarre clearance.
That
was fantastic.
Karate kick.
What clearance that was.
That's the best clearance you can
There will
ask
be no
for.
mercy in this dojo, mate.
Here goes Marcus
Go on,
Rashford.
Rashy.
Ericsson tracking back.
Give me a corner. Give me a corner.
And it's...
Have you got a number of corners on? Or?
No, I just need Phil Jones.
Oh, fair.
He goes on amazing run.
Martial getting a lot. Anthony Martial's had a lot of the ball.
Oh, he likes that as well, doesn't he?
And it's over the bar.
What was the first time absolute banger he scored coming in from that side?
Oh, yeah, against Everton
Oh,
earlier
it was
in the
against
season,
Everton.
yeah.
Oh, that was that goal.
Game's
was
just opened
absolutely-
up a bit, isn't it? There's a
How's he
chance.
got-
Oh, Harry Kane with a
Time,
touch.
Space.
Time and space there. And it's both teams having chances now.
Look at that
could have won bomb.
defensive organisation from United.
Look, first time
That's
there,
fantastic,
Smith.
isn't it? Look at it.
What's Matic doing?
Matic
Where is
is
he?
nowhere.
No man's land.
He does.
That's
He
been
does.
his
Hey,
job
like,
for the
was
whole game.
Jones's man? He just left him. He literally just left him then. Ridiculous.
Yeah, game just opened up. In terms of the 7th place, I think Everton, in terms of stature, should finish 7th, because in terms of the stature of the club,
not just
the
stature,
money,
no.
the
They
money
are
they've
cash
spent
rich,
as
yeah.
well, they should do that. Another team I'll throw into the mix that I probably don't think will finish 7th this season, but I think, from what I've heard, are going to invest heavily in the summer. I think Wolves are going to be a team that are only going on the up with the money they've got to spend. And from what I've heard, they're going to spend big in the summer again. And I think they're a team that will... I just think they're in a good
Uncle
place
George
financially.
Mendes.
They'll be a team to push it.
screams
Although they're
like
a weird team because they've knocked Liverpool out of the cup. They've beaten Spurs in the league, beaten Chelsea in the league, drawn to Man United, drawn to Man City. Yet they've lost to Cardiff, lost to Huddersfield, drawn to Fulham.
Yeah,
they're a very
struggled
inconsistent team.
Yeah, they've struggled against sitting defences, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like, we interviewed Matt Doherty earlier in the season, and he was saying they find it easier against big sides just because
Did he? That's interesting.
they leave more space up front and maybe kind of underestimate Wolves' ability in the transition, which has been great this season. Sort of
He's played quite well, Matt.
Raul Jimenez will hold it up. They've got those fullbacks that bomb
Yeah.
on. They're really positive, aren't they? Doherty has been great.
Yeah.
But then when you play against, Burnley or Huddersfield, who have eight men
back,
in the box, and you've not got maybe that profile of forward who are like Martial, who are
Lovely, Paul.
who are nippy in the box, then you might struggle. But interestingly, they're trying to buy Tammy Abraham, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Which, if that's true, and they spend 18 mil on Tammy Abraham, which I think is an absolute bargain, by the way, if they secure it, and apparently offering him 120k a week as well, like that's pretty. That's crazy. He's not going to get that offer anywhere else. On the back of a free score in half a season at Villa. But apparently also going to tie Raul Jimenez up.
Jimenez down, yeah.
Is it Raul Jimenez?
Yeah.
Raul,
Yeah.
for 34 million from Benfica.
But is that and
Two totally different forwards, but that's 60 mil.
But I can see them doing both, Hamilton. That's what I mean about they have the money to
Yeah, that's
if
what
they
I'm
want-
saying. Yeah, imagine.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's right. They're right to go after someone like Abraham because he's always been very, very good at getting shots off inside the box, and that's maybe where they can make those marginal gains against the smaller sides.
But if you're Tammy Abraham, you've got guaranteed first-team football at Villa, and as much as I'd like him to go, because obviously it'll see their demise, but if you go to Wolves, you've got second-choice striker for...
Well, I actually think he's better than Jimenez is. I keep saying I'm unsure if it's Jimenez. Raul is.
It is, yeah.
He's 27 now.
Right.
I think turning 28. So I actually don't see the value in spending 34 million on him. But 18 mil for 21-year-old.
Chance for Spurs, Son on the edge of the box.
Oh, here we go.
That's a very suspect lunge.
Ericsson.
Oh, nice and for Jonesy.
Could have been.
Spurs coming into this game. Good period this for Spurs last 10 minutes. Getting a lot of joy down the left with Ben Davies on the ball again.
Oh, no!
Son in the box. Oh!
The interplay of Spurs front four is class. First touch pass.
I think he's offside there,
Absolutely
He's not
class.
given? No? OK.
I don't think he was offside.
Corner. No,
It was offside, yeah.
Do you not think
Got to be
with
cornered,
that 34 million, though, it's a bit, because, George is involved and you don't know how involved he is in certain situations, it might be slightly inflated.
It's hard to gauge, isn't it? But I don't know if he has much involvement at Benfica. But traditionally, Benfica and Porto are very good at getting money for their players, aren't they?
Yeah.
And his stock is only in the ascendancy. So yeah, I think Wolves are probably a good shout because they actually, unlike a lot of the teams competing for that position, kind of have a clear, defined strategy in terms of recruitment. And a way of playing that's just beyond pragmatic. So.
Interesting there, we saw Heung-min Son's stats appear there, as we say. He's one of the most informed players at the minute. If you want to get a Harry Kane goal with a Heung-min Son assist, that is 12-1 with Skybet. And we spoke earlier, Just gone up to 14-1 in the last few minutes.
Oh,
That's
wow.
14-1 for a goal scored by Harry Kane, assisted by Heung-min Son. And we spoke earlier about how many goal involvements they've both had.
Who's a
and they're
nicer
playing
bloke?
as a front two because Spurs are playing the Diamonds. So that's 14-1 with Sky Bet.
Who's a nicer bloke, Juan Mata or Son?
Oh, it's a great question. Heung-min Son is one of the nicest footballers I've ever met.
He looks just like
One of the nicest. He was smiling.
Why?
We did a shoot with him about a year ago with him and Dele Alli, and he is one of the most genuinely nice people. He had time for absolutely everyone. But the thing that I take from that is he just smiles all the time, and he's just a genuinely nice
Bundle of
bloke.
positivity.
Yeah, I haven't met one.
Who'd you rather go for a beer with?
Juan Mata.
Ooh.
I've actually met Juan Mata in Juan Mata's tapas restaurant and exchanged patas bravas with him.
Do you say exchanged patatas, bruv?
Yeah.
Just putting each other a bit of a bit.
It's very romantic, yeah. Quite a small man, but...
Yeah, I can imagine that was quite a lean
I'll
down.
tell you who else I'll put in that as one of the nicest footballers is Santi Cazorla.
Yeah.
Oh, what a lovely man he is.
Oh! Go! Does that count? Harry, come on! Really messing up my
I
bet
really
here.
don't like it when that happens. Right, we will see if that is the right call or not. The ball is in the back of the net. It's 1-0 Spurs, but it is disallowed through offside.
Is it off?
Let's
Not
have a look
1-0
at Kieran
Spurs.
Trippier whips in. He's onside there.
Well,
Good decision. Great decision.
awful from Kane,
great.
Yeah,
How
it's a
about
good
that for a
decision.
decision?
So the ball's whipped in. From Kieran Trippier. We're just checking that definitely came off Dele Alli.
Yeah,
it did come off Dele Alli, didn't
Dele, yeah.
it? Which means he's in an offside position. Harry Kane. Right place,
just
right
that
side,
sums
goal.
up Harry Kane's day, that.
Doesn't
Not going for him.
Great to see the officials
We're
training.
only
and,
30 minutes in, mate.
Well, you know.
But it feels like it could be one of those
It
games.
could, yeah. Actually.
It's been quite an entertaining game, actually.
It has. For 0-0, there's been talking points.
Never get any-
Dave, get the neutral perspective. There's no one... I say neutral. You don't like either team.
I
as an
feel like
Arsenal fan.
Spurs are starting to gain control of this game here.
Yeah.
And I feel they're looking like the most likely to score a goal. United had some big chances where if they would have taken the lead, completely different
Changes
game.
the complexion of the game.
Spurs now are looking to get on top.
Also, when Spurs played Man United, I don't know if you watched the game, the Monday night football game, which Spurs won 3-0. Spurs were dominant in the second half, absolutely dominant. But it's worth mentioning that the first half, United, I thought,
United were actually on top,
were, if anything, the better team. They had a big chance at Lukaku, missed it, and it's like you quite rightly said there, had that goal have gone in, I still think Spurs would
different
probably
game, innit?
I think
won, but it might have changed the complexion of the game.
I think the actual, the result of that game probably would have been
bit
more
misleading,
fairly.
yeah.
Like
It was a big
2-1
moment,
to
that
Tottenham
miss,
or
wasn't it?
something.
That
the
Lukaku miss.
expected goals was like 3-2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it should have been a lot closer, and
Yeah.
that wasn't great from.
And it's a good point Dave makes, though, about United not taking chances, whether that will play into Spurs' hands.
Good for
Spurs have
Lindelof
missed a few
there
chances
again.
as well, though, to be fair. So
Need a goal. We always have
Fairly
late goals
tight,
on the
Will.
football social.
we do have goals usually, yeah. Any more questions? What are people
I think by the
predicting?
magic of TV, there's going to be a graphic appearing on the screen which says, who is the best midfielder on the pitch right now? That is from Saucy Dyer.
Interesting.
There you go, look at that. I said it,
Name
there
up
it
his
is.
Does
life.
it mean who is the
Fair
best
play.
midfielder today or generally?
There's playing on this pitch?
Ability-wise.
Because if it is, then
I
it
think
is...
the most world-class midfielder is Christian Eriksen.
I think it's Paul Pogba, mate.
Do you?
If you're asking me which player would I want,
You'd rather Pogba over
I'd
Eriksen?
have Paul Pogba.
Pogba or Eriksen?
I think
They're
as an
different
all,
players,
as an
right?
as an
They are
all- as an
different,
all-round-
and
as an
that wasn't a
all-round
dig at
midfielder,
Eriksen
I take
either.
Pogba. As a creator, I take Eriksen. But as a
that's
as
a
a midfielder in the
Yeah.
classic midfielder role, I'd go for Pogba.
They are, it is
Pogba
a
can
funny
do more.
because
Pogba can do more.
they are completely different players, but who play in different roles. But I mean,
I
they're
like
both
Eriksen,
quality
though.
players. Maybe we get that as a poll. Who's
I feel that you could build a team around Paul Pogba, whereas I'm not
Yeah.
sure you could do the same for
Do you
Eriksen.
know what
Eriksen's
Eriksen
insane.
is?
No, look at
He's
Eriksen.
wicked, he's wicked.
Do you know what
That
Eriksen
wasn't-
is though? When Eriksen doesn't play, you notice
Yeah.
when he's not playing so much because he's on the ball. He's so creative.
His actual decisiveness as well, not just his creativity. Like his goals and assists have really racked up. I think he's averaging a goal involvement every 0.5 games, and that puts him on the par with David Silva, I think,
Wow.
and above some of the all-time greats like Gerrard, like Lampard,
Yeah.
around 0.4. So at the minute, in terms of like making that final ball or scoring an important goal, he's pretty iconic in that sense.
The other thing is the quality of goals that he scores.
Yeah.
He scores some unbelievable. The goal against Everton, the technique of that, like he scores world-class goals.
I think the thing is though, Paul Pogba's won some trophies as well.
That's what I was going to say.
No, and that's not even a dig, but it's like he.
Well, it is a dig, isn't it?
Well,
No, but do you think he doesn't get included the same as
do
David
like-
Silva because he's not won trophies like David Silva has? Because he's obviously of the same talent,
Yeah.
but he's just never won trophies to back that up.
So you're saying you think there's an argument that players who don't win trophies aren't as recognised as those that have?
Yeah, because he's obviously got the talent and the abilities. The stats back that up. But, I mean, Jimmy Traore won Champions League, didn't he? So.
Yeah. Well, he's been heavily linked with Real Madrid, hasn't he, yet again?
Yeah.
And I think that probably goes part and parcel with Pochettino being linked with Real Madrid.
Lovely bit of play that from Spurs.
Both
Worth
teams
pointing out
very
as
good
well
at the
that
counter.
breaking up
Jones
possession.
is still in midfield.
Sissoko has broken up a lot of possession in this game, again for Spurs. And Winks has been on the ball.
Charles Smith!
All the chances for Harry Winks. Another one blazed over the bar. He's been good on the ball, Harry Winks.
Okay, I think for Harry Winks, this is a massive month for him now. This is his chance to fully establish himself as a central midfielder in Spurs' team. Because if not, in the summer, they are definitely going to have to strengthen in that position. So this is literally it.
Yeah, you're right. He's got, obviously, Wanyama's injured, Dembele's going,
this is his chance to grab that shirt.
Wanyama's done now, isn't he?
Wanyama's very injury-prone, isn't he?
This is a shame, because he was such a good player for a very long time. But, yeah, agreed, Harry Winks.
Massive couple of months.
A goal in a game like this goes a long way to kind of reassuring the fans you're a long-term option, doesn't it?
Speaking of maybe possible replacements in that area, Declan Rice had a fantastic game yesterday.
Worth talking about Declan Rice.
What do we think of him, and is he a future England star?
20th birthday tomorrow, his first Premier League goal, man of the match against Arsenal. Also, he hasn't actually aligned himself to England yet, because obviously he can play for Ireland. He's still making that decision. So it'll be interesting to see what he does make, but he is definitely a player in form. And also, I think how important he is for West Ham. If he left West Ham, I think they would struggle
already.
With the position.
Yeah.
On the subject of Rice, can anyone name the last teenager to score for West Ham?
Oh, Joe Cole.
No.
Frank Lampard.
No.
Mark Noble.
A bit more
obscure
than that, but it's very obscure.
Say again.
Last teenager to score for West Ham in the Premier League.
Last teenager. And if you know, make your suggestion known on our live stream now. We will dig out the last teenager to score.
Rio Ferdinand.
No, I mean,
no, you said it's recent.
It was 10 years ago. It's in 2009.
Not Mark Noble, no.
10 years ago, yeah?
Jack Collison.
Not quite.
Jack Collison was still 30.
Did you want to know?
No. It's if it wasn't Jack Collison, it's chance.
He's still playing in the Premier League now.
Is that very Tompkins?
Tompkins, no. James Collins, no.
Not English as well.
Still playing. It's a good question, this.
Reece Oxford?
No, not Reece.
That was a suggestion from Omar.
Again, 10 years ago.
Not English, sorry. Not
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. So Reece Oxford would have been
What manager? 2009. He was there in 2009. What was it? Not Curbs.
Pardew,
it wasn't far long after that. Nah, it was. I think it might have been. I don't know. I think it was Zola actually. Maybe. Nah, maybe not.
When I said Collison, you said not. You said
Valtey. I don't know.
Not a bad shout.
We will get this. We will get
Stanislas?
It was Stanislas.
Junior Stanislas.
Yeah, done that myself as well.
Nice.
No, that was from... who was that?
Who got that, Will?
That was definitely not me. That Connor McGennon and John...
Oh, here we go.
Connor.
Oh, well played. Connor.
Dangerous cleared from trivia. Back to the game. 37 minutes gone, 0-0. Spurs slightly edging it at the minute, but United probably edged it at the early part of the game. So nothing of real note in the last 5 minutes. Pogba with a half chance, danger cleared. We're still awaiting the first goal. There's a legend for both clubs. Dimitar Berbatov is in the crowd. 46 goals and 102 appearances for Tottenham and 56 goals and 149 appearances for Man United. Sat next to the king, Ledley, who is still to this date one of Spurs' greatest ever defenders. We love Ledley King. It's going to say at the lane, but we are not at the lane. We're at Wembley. Still.
It's embarrassing.
So good to see Ledley and Dimitar. I'd love to know who Dimitar Berbatov is supporting in this game.
Yeah,
this is a big blow for Tottenham because Sissoko, we spoke about the midfield area being quite light for Tottenham, and Sissoko's down. It looks like a hamstring. Now, this will be a big blow for Spurs because he's been a very informed player for us.
And he's
broken up possession very well.
He's transitioned to play really well. Not just broken it up, he's carried the ball.
It's a bad one. He's gone. We know it's a bad one because it's completely off the ball.
Poor guy,
he is running. It's like Michael Owen back in the days, just running forward.
Great reference.
And he's heard a pop, and he's just holding his hamstring. So this looks like it could be serious.
Right.
And it's not what Spurs need with a second leg of the
comes on
Carabao
now
Cup
for Spurs?
coming on. I think Ollie Skip will come on. There he is. Yeah. Speak of the man.
Who's this?
Ollie Skip will come on. Who's this? Very highly rated midfielder, but he's very young. He's played three or four games.
How old is he? Oh, Lamella actually.
18, 19, very young.
Can you like
Skip
tell us more about him?
Yeah, he's a young midfielder who he made his debut in a League Cup game against West Ham. He came on against Chelsea actually late in the Carabao Cup. He's been used by Pochettino in the sort of lesser games, Tranmere's, those games like that. He's very, very highly rated. Has been for many years. at the sort of reserve and youth team level, and he's been thrust
Your
into
best kept secret then? I've never...
He's been thrust. The reason why he's been thrust into the first team because of injuries, because we spoke, Dembele's off, Wanyama's injured, Dyer's out with his appendix. We're very light in that area.
You've not really been linked with anyone this January either, have you?
At all.
You've got
That's
to loan
the
him,
thing.
haven't you? That's what
Desperate
Poch said.
I'd be amazed if Sissoko carries on here, because this was an off-the-ball incident with his hamstring, but it looks like
No,
he's having a
he can't
discussion with the
carry on,
physio. is it?
Surely.
He's just playing for time, isn't he?
No, he's going to be
Winding down the first half.
Mike Dean's saying yes to obviously go off the pitch. We know that fairly recent rule now you have to go off the pitch to come back on. And
here
Eric
he comes.
Lamella's come. This is quite an attacking sub. This.
He will definitely get sent off today.
So,
Yeah. It'd be interesting
Dele
to see-
Alli in midfield.
Well, this is what I was
and
just about to say. I think
Lamella at the tip.
he's going to switch to a 4-2-3-1.
Still West Ham a little jog.
So just to keep you updated, what's happening is Sissoko's off the pitch. Lamella is stripped, completely ready to come on, but the physio is asking if Sissoko can carry on, because I think Sissoko wants to play
Surely
on.
can't take the risk there.
To be fair, there's only 5 till half time. Maybe see if we can.
Sissoko's back on. This
Back
is
on, mate. He's a machine.
Inspirational.
Have
What
any
an
of you ever
absolute
seen?
trooper.
Have any of you ever seen a player pull up without
With a
being contact?
Not a hammy.
Go down and then come back on. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's pretty flaky.
Listen, this is the moment.
no,
We'll keep an eye on Sissoko.
Nice score.
He's jogging quite
Just
gingerly
doing the
as well,
making,
doesn't he?
Smith.
I think it might be
Well,
until
Saka have
half
a lot
time.
of,
I don't see him coming back out for the second half.
Script is written for him to score a 90th minute winner.
So there are 5 minutes left till the end of the half. Sissoko's
Crawling
back
for
on
the
the
second
pitch,
Great header by Phil Jones there.
and we'll let you know if they do
That
make
is
a half-time
Mathis' first
sub.
involvement,
But I
isn't
do think, Chris, if Lamella comes on, he will change the system.
Yeah, well, Dele Alli's so good. Dele Alli can play anywhere, man.
Yeah.
Like, Dele Alli is like, I feel like he's a mould for like the future professional footballer. It's just like he can play anywhere.
Do you know what I think he does well? I'm not saying he's the best young English. Well, I don't know how you classify young. I'm not saying he's the best in the world at young. There's obviously better younger players, but I think he reads the game incredibly well for someone of his age. Like the fact that he's played in different positions, he can box to box. He's such an intelligent player for someone of his age.
His versatility, is a little bit
So
underrated.
intelligent.
Ref, we
He's-
have to get a sub on here.
Has he
Sissoko
got right?
is
Sissoko's
down
right
again.
there.
Gone
Smithy's
down
down
again.
again.
United on the
Play on,
attack.
boys.
Come on then,
Oh, this could be
Tony.
controversial. Oh,
Lovely
United played on.
tackle,
Spurs are
Trips.
complaining that United should have put the ball out. They're not happy.
Oh, all right.
Trippier.
oh, Trey!
Oh.
Send him off!
Hey,
Send a pair of them off!
Trippier's not happy with Martial.
Harry Winks, the
Should he have put the
peacemaker.
ball out
He
there,
pushed
Martial?
him then. That's at least a yellow.
Is it though?
He pushed him.
There's an argument that if they should have put the ball out because Sissoko went down, United carried on and
No,
Trippier's not happy.
Momo Sissoko should have went off the when he was injured.
Was it a yellow card for Martial, David's saying? I don't think it was. But
Oh, for Martial.
I love that whole.
Look at that.
You know, when
can't do
players-
that.
oh, Martial pushed him as well.
It should be yellow for him.
You know, when
Send the
players
ball
get
off.
really indignant about the other side not kicking the ball out when they
Yeah.
don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
why does that carry on?
You got to put the foot down on the neck and just go for it.
Substitution for Spurs. Musa Sissoko is off. Head in his hands. He looks a bit distraught. Pochettino is having quite words with him as if to say, why
What
did you
are the
carry on?
odds on
Eric
this fella to
Lamella
get
is
sent
back
off?
on.
I actually want a
Yeah.
yellow card. Yeah, yellow card for Lamella. What are the odds on
Yeah.
that? Because put that on now.
He-
Because
he
the guy
always
is
gets-
sharpest
yeah.
elbows in the Western
he?
Hemisphere. Yeah,
And,
he's like
Dirty.
He's very, in big
Women.
games,
Oh.
he's very
bang. He's always
in the
throwing
zone.
it, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's very in the zone.
He loves afters, doesn't he? He loves a little.
He gets
burn
very
past
pumped
him.
up for big games.
Yeah, right, kid, he got claws. But he loves to burn past a man and scratch his nose.
Oh, chance here. Oh,
He says chance, but we're on the halfway line currently. Dele Alli running the ball
A lot of
forward.
boys forward though.
Getting a lot of joy down the left if he passes it to...
good defending by Lindelof.
Who was that from
Lindelof.
deep? Was that Dele Alli?
Yeah,
Was that
yeah.
Dele Alli threading through? Yeah, of course it was. You absolute ledge.
So Sissoko is off. Lamella is on. First sub of the match. 4 substitutions. Also, Spurs having a lot of injuries this season. That's not going to help. Not going to help that at all. Had a lot of injuries this season.
Yeah, he's having a good game.
And it's another one. Let's go to Will in Social Corner.
Yeah, great question in from Ryan Tinsley. He says, are managers such as Mourinho getting too outdated to manage at the highest level? I think that comes back to, we were talking about man management earlier, likes of Klopp, Guardiola, Southgate, very good with the players, but Mourinho not getting the best.
It's a good question, that, isn't it? For me, I feel, it's just my opinion, I just think Mourinho wasn't the right fit for Man United. I still think Mourinho could be successful for other clubs. I mean, people that say, oh, Mourinho's no longer a good manager, that's not the case, is it? He's won everything at every club he's ever been at, pretty much. I don't think the fit for United was right. And, I mean, you're a United fan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Mourinho? And
Oh, I mean,
Pedigree now.
he's not the manager he was. I think that's only fair. Because, what's a ball?
Oh, chance!
Pogba coming back to McCubbin after
Chance
this.
for Rashford!
Marcus Rashford, what a goal that
9 goal
is.
involvements.
What a goal that is.
Sick. Was that
Fantastic ball in as well.
96?
1-0 Man United, Marcus Rashford.
Poch will be loving that.
That is a
Poch will be
great goal.
loving
That is a fantastic
I mean,
goal.
Smithy does take it very well. I suppose after years of failure, that does, become...
That is a fantastic finish.
You know what? This is all in the camera.
Trippier, what have you...
Fantastic.
Ball by Paul Pogba there.
It's all come from Spurs.
Perfectly weighted. He takes one touch. Second touch.
What were we
is a goal.
saying earlier?
That's bringing back memories of Scholes and Van Persie.
Yeah, he's better on the angle, isn't he? That is
He
such
is,
a
yeah.
hard finish.
Yeah.
Great goal.
But he's good at that.
Side net,
yeah.
unbelievably. Well played, sir.
I think
So Trippier had the ball dispossessed.
Quality ball
Lingard
from Paul
plays it to
Pogba.
Pogba. Lovely pass from Pogba.
Bang.
It's a
That is a
very
great
good
goal.
finish from
That's a
Marcus
very good
Rashford.
Don't you think Hugo could have done a little bit?
Oh, I think that's harsh.
In
Look
his-
at that.
in
Look
that
where he
position.
goes in. Side netting, just near the post.
Exactly what we
5
needed was a
goals.
goal as well. We needed a goal.
5 goals, 5 assists in the last 9.
Look at him, loving it.
Mickey Phelan is on top of the world right now.
Wasn't Mickey Phelan sort of the technical director of an Australian club before?
Yeah, he was down. Yeah,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
That
That was such a lovely ball by
what I
Pogba, though. That was.
Look at that. Look at the lads all together.
Look at the camaraderie.
Look
God,
at that.
football
They're
is so
back in it. It's the
fickle,
spirit
aren't
of '99, isn't it?
they? Yeah, look at it. It's crazy. You know what? We had this conversation, before about Solskjaer getting the job. There will be legitimate calls for him to get the job if he wins this from some fans, won't there?
Of course.
First time in his career, he scored in 3 successive games. Marcus Rashford, and in 4.
You're still going to win. Calm down.
And it is the worst time for Spurs to concede. The goal must have gone in the
Did not expect
44th
that at
minute.
all.
We're into injury time now.
Anything to do with Sissoko there?
Goal time.
Well, maybe
43,
actually the
59.
shape was
has
changed.
gone
Yeah.
a little bit since.
It was in that area that Paul
Sissoko.
Pogba picked the ball up, wasn't it?
But your defensive presence in midfield now is fairly weak, isn't it? Without
This is what I'm
Dyer,
saying.
without Sissoko.
I would be inclined to put on Sanchez and play as a back 3 and change the system because of how much joy United are getting in that
Not
in the
to
middle.
Spain,
of
is
it.
it?
Smith, a little tactical.
Yeah, I just think we play well in that 3 as well. The results explained and backed that up last season.
Yeah.
And I just think United are getting a lot of joy. I don't think United have necessarily been the better team. I don't think
haven't.
Spurs have either. I think there's been very little in the game.
You've actually been quite similar.
I think 0-0 would have been a fair result, or 1-0 would have been a fair result, but
All our
United won't-
chances have come like that. just getting in
Exactly my
behind.
point. Exactly.
It's-
To
there's
be
been a bit of a gap
fair,
there.
though, with Rashford and Martial on the pitch, this is perfect for United on the counter now.
And United won't care because
This-
they're 1-0 up.
And United, this little run they've had over Christmas, they've just bludgeoned teams with their attack, haven't they?
Yeah.
Solskjaer knows
They
they're
are.
still defensively
And there's the
suspect.
away end going
Yeah.
crazy.
Not
Carroll.
Loving it.
Not done anything to try and arrest that, have they? But here, he's actually shown a little bit of a different approach. And I'm not going to get carried away because I still think, yes, Spurs stand a very good chance of winning this. But kind of, if he can win in a different way.
I think the thing is, I
Maybe
don't think Spurs have
underestimated
played well though. I think that's the thing. They haven't played
No.
well. Like they've had 2 or 3 very good
found a
chances.
rhythm, have they? Not-
Yeah, they haven't.
Interesting you asked about Lamella's booking odds, Chris. He was the joint to 1 favourite, 2 to 1 to be booked next when he came on.
Sure, Lord, put me 50 quid on that.
Can you
pay you
half time?
Half time.
With Andy Ferrer it was. Right, these are the half-time scenes at Wembley. Marcus Rashford with the only goal of the game, thanks to that assist from that man on your screen there, Paul Pogba. Not a lot in this game. Both teams with chances. Man United probably starting the brighter, Spurs then having a good
Very happy.
10-minute spell. But there has been only 1 goal of the game. It is Marcus Rashford. Lovely finish from Rashford.
Really was.
First time he scored in 3 successive Premier League games, and Spurs will be very disappointed to concede on the 43rd minute mark. Must have been a minute after Sissoko came off. Lamella came on, they changed their shape. Great time for United to score, bad time for Spurs to score. Good attendance today, as you can see from Wembley. McCubbin, thoughts of United? Trying to get a positive.
Yeah.
A lot of people there.
I don't know. It's pretty
Good first half for United, 1-0.
Was good, yeah. Like I said, yeah, it's been pretty even. But it also looked like those kind of chances were drying up as well.
Yeah.
And I think, Sissoko going off definitely changed things a little bit there. It's great, just great to see Pogba pinging balls like that.
Yeah.
And he's not going to change it now, Ollie, is he? He'll keep it as it is. You don't
I think he will
expect
keep it
any
as is. Yeah, I can't really think of who he bring on. Like, there's not really. Yeah, I think we just keep on.
There's
keep
no
on going.
obvious candidates to bring off either for United.
Yeah.
They've worked pretty well as a unit. Matic hasn't been hugely influential, but like at least you're kind of muddying it up in the centre of midfield.
For sure, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, defensively, I don't see someone who can improve us off the bench. The only people I can see improving us are, say, Lukaku coming on if we need
a
extra
goal,
presence
yeah.
up front, or Mata coming on if we need a bit more creativity. But at the moment, it's working.
I think your DMs are playing well, actually, because from watching, obviously I've watched Spurs every game Spurs have played, is that our front 4 create so many opportunities. You see us, we scored 5 against Bournemouth, 6 against Everton. We've scored goals for fun.
Eriksen's been quiet.
But the amount of chance we've created as well of those goals, and I think that's testament to how well actually United have played DM-wise and defensively, that you've restricted us to our best chance. One of them came from a corner, one came from a bit of sloppy, you know, a bit of luck with the pass. We had an offside chance. We haven't actually created that much.
There's very rarely been much space on the edge of the United area.
We're just watching the highlights now.
Yeah, whereas in the inside channels for Spurs, that's where we've been getting all the joy.
United have been really direct, like they were under Jose Mourinho. But instead of pumping it long to Fellaini, they're pumping it long to the faster players out wide.
On the floor, isn't
actually
it?
Working the channels as opposed to just kind of Hail Marys into Fellaini. But it's working a treat on the counter.
Let's go to social corner. Will, what are people saying?
Yeah, one on Sissoko. With Dyer and Sissoko out with injuries, how will Pochettino shape the midfield now Dembele is left as well?
We have to buy a midfielder. We have to reinforce that area. I think we were light even with Dembele.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. This is what I do not get about Spurs' transfer policy. I never have. If where I understand it, if a player like Gareth Bale wants to leave for 90 million, you can't prevent that. I understand that. If we're overspending on the stadium and we can't buy a marquee signing for 80 million, I understand that. Where I've never understand Spurs' transfer policy is if we get rid of a player and then we don't replace them. If we're getting rid of Dembele and we're not replacing him, so I just find that incredible because
the thing that persuades your manager to leave eventually, isn't it?
No, I don't think so, Chris. Next question.
I think it is.
Well, I think we need to reinforce. It's a good question, yeah.
What was I going to say there? What do Arsenal need to do to get in January to get in the top 4? Sorry, I couldn't get my words out there.
It's all right, Will.
He needs to
happens to the best of us.
He needs to start playing his best team. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's not good, if it's not quite good enough, it's going to be not quite good enough because we've already been told that we can't buy anyone. It might be a few loan signings. I think we probably need a new left back. But I think a lot of this will happen in the summer. A new left back. Potentially a backup right back as well, or at least someone to really push Hector Bellerin. Definitely need a new centre half.
You do,
and then obviously with Aaron Ramsey going, we have to bring in, someone who's a bit more creative.
Well, you could be losing Ramsey and Ozil, two of your most creative players.
Which is fine because at the moment, like neither of them are starting. So it's
I kind of felt like you Arsenal fans were when Unai Emery first came in pretty reasonable with their expectations.
Yeah.
Actually. More so than anyone expected in terms of, it's going to take him 2 or 3 windows. Even the signings he's made now aren't good enough. And then you went on that run, and there was some fortunate 3 points picked up here and there. And then expectations started to creep up slowly but surely. And now I'm seeing quite a bit of abuse. I mean, which I don't understand.
No, which I don't understand at all. Like, he's definitely going to take time, but it's just my frustration is again with like the Ozil situation where it's like if he's not even going to be in the squad, he has to be moved on. That's so much money sitting on the bench.
Is that supposed to be an attitude thing or was it a tactical decision?
It's both, isn't it?
He's like had an injury. It's like a different injury for the last 5 months where it's like problem with his back. Whatever. It's like, that's fine. But we're not in a position where we can afford to have that much money sitting on the bench.
I just find it mad that there's times that Mesut Ozil hasn't even been on the bench.
It's just stupid. Yeah,
because big games. The Carabao Cup game against Spurs.
Silly, yeah.
The game yesterday. Not to be even if he's not in his starting 11, I actually can understand whether at games you don't play Mesut Ozil because of his work rate. I can understand that, but you'd always, for me, have him on the bench as an option, surely. If he rates him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think he at least needs to be given another couple of transfer windows because at the moment this is still Wenger's squad with a few of his signings in there. So no kind of complaints towards Unai Emery, but it's my frustration is A, like the Mesut Ozil situation, and B, kind of him not starting his best 11 because he looks great in terms of making subs, but it's like because he kind of seems to change games. But if you're not starting your best 11, then you don't need to make some of these substitutions in the first place.
Yeah. OK, back to the game. It is 1-0 Man United at half-time. Right now, Laura Wood's caught up with Hyun and Harry Kane before the game for a little bit of Guess Who Am I? Here it is.
Oh, I like this one.
Right, guys, welcome to this game of Who Am I? Harry Kane, Son Heung-min. You're now against each other. You're used to playing alongside each other, and you make a very good partnership, but it's now competition between you.
I think I've got this one in the bag, to be fair. No, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm strong.
You'll be absolutely fine. Are you ready for the first one?
Let's do it, yeah.
OK, here we go. I have twice won the Scottish Premiership with Celtic. Harry Kane.
I am Fit the Wanyama.
That's correct.
Ah. 1-0.
I've played for 3 English clubs. I started my career at Manchester City. Oh, you did it at the same time.
But I'll give it to Sonny as well. I am Kieran Trippier.
Correct.
Hey! 1-1. We have to get the Yeah, judge's decision on who was first.
VAR.
Question 3. My middle name is Manuel. I was previously the most expensive player in Tottenham's history.
I am Eric Lamela.
Correct.
Oh.
Yes. I don't know that's his middle name.
Manuel. Manuel.
Manuel.
I was...
Who do you think?
Davinson.
Davidson. No, now he's the most.
Yeah.
I've won Serie A 2 times.
I am Fernando Llorente. Come on, Sonny, wake up.
I've won 2 PFA Young Player of the Year awards.
Oh my God.
I am.
My finger's not working.
Wait, what would you have said?
I am Dele Ali.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been correct, but you weren't. So what are we now? 4-1, is it?
4-1, yeah.
4-1. You're rolling away.
Running away with
this.
it.
Running away with this. I was born on Valentine's Day, 1992. I scored the 3rd fastest ever Premier League goal against. Yes, Sonny.
Christian Eriksen. I am Christian Eriksen.
And all of a sudden it's 4-2. Feels so much better,
I
doesn't
should
it?
have known that, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's good. I am Tottenham's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer.
Oh.
I am myself, Harry Kane.
Correct. My former club teammates are Alexander Lacazette and Dejan Lovren. I have won the World Cup.
Me? I am Hugo Lloris.
Correct.
This is slower in real life, but your fingers are slower. It's true, huh?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with that.
I won 11 trophies in 5 years with my former club. I've scored 6 Premier League goals for Spurs. As a youth player, I was known by my nickname, Marcelino.
Is that all the clues?
Do you want one more?
I'll have one more.
I was the first Premier League Player of the Month this season.
I thought it was you.
I'm Lucas Moura.
Correct. Back into it. We've got loads more to go. It's fine. We're going to play until it's there.
Oh, stick. Oh, stick.
I was thinking, yeah.
One of my middle names is Bert.
Oh, wow. We've got some good dirt on the players now.
I have twice won the Eredivisie. I am the most capped player in my country's history. Oh, I think that was Harry.
I am Jan Vertonghen.
Correct.
Bert. Jan. I'm going to call him Bert for the rest of his life.
Call him Bertie.
Bertie.
I made more appearances for Tottenham last season than any other player.
Hammer, my son.
Yeah. Congrats.
Yay!
7-4, so much healthier. You must be feeling good about that.
Yeah, I feel
That's
good.
embarrassing
I
for
feel
you,
good.
isn't it?
I feel good. I feel good. Yeah, because I let Harry win.
Right.
So always been honoured to play with him.
Needs to be the glory boy all the time, doesn't he?
No, you don't want to assist me anymore now.
No, I assist always him. So it's no problem.
I signed for Tottenham when I was 17 years old. I scored on my Premier League debut in a 2-1. Oh, Sonny.
At time.
Do you want me to finish the
No, you can't
sentence?
finish. No, he pressed his buzzer.
He signed when he's 17.
Yeah.
Tottenham
Yeah.
or professional?
No, Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Oh, come on, it's easy.
I'm a Danny Rose.
Correct. I began my English career at Gillingham. I was born in Argentina. Harry.
I am Paolo Gazzaniga.
Correct.
I don't know that. It's
Yeah.
Gillingham.
I scored the winner on my Tottenham debut against West Ham.
I am Eric Dyer.
Yes, correct.
Who's you going to say?
Harry scored as well, eh? Harry Winks.
Oh, yeah. It's
No,
true.
this one was definitely Eric Dyer. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's.
It's true, it's unlucky.
Harry.
Right, boys, congratulations, because Harry Kane, you did win it 9-5.
I don't know. I'm proud of myself, so no problem.
No, you were excellent.
No,
I think Sonny was just a bit slow on the old buzzer.
No, because the battery was
Couldn't
coming.
get used to it, could you?
It's the buzzer's fault.
I think it's not important, my feet is. It's the most important.
True.
Congratulations, Harry. Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Love that. So that's what you get with Spurs players. Look at the camaraderie that exists at Tottenham Hotspur.
very close.
Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. Congratulations, Harry Kane, for winning that quiz. We haven't seen enough of Kane and Son, have we, in this game, Hamill?
No, I think it's difficult for them. And to be fair, there's been moments where Tottenham have still managed to open up a largely kind of sitting defence. United are very... There's not a lot of presence centrally, but and they're very reliant on Pogba distributing to the wings here. That's clearly their game plan. Get Pogba the ball sort of 25 yards out and let him kind of spray and formulate these counter-attacks. But Spurs have unlocked United a fair few times here, and I think that they deserve a lot of credit for that because there's a lot of red shirts inside their box. So, if Harry Kane is... I mean, he was uncharacteristically offside, wasn't he? If he's onside there, Spurs go 1-0 up, then United have to, that changes their game plan. They have to come out a little bit. It could have been a very different result. So very fine margins, but I don't think it should be too downhearted, actually.
No.
Create some high-quality chances.
And we're just looking at the goal there. Paul Pogba heavily involved. Since Solskjaer took over McCubbin, no Man United player has been involved in more Premier League goals than Pogba. 4 goals, 4 assists. Yeah. He is someone that splits opinion, but he is on a great run of form.
He's fantastic. He's been the key guy for United today, without a doubt. I think he's completely facilitated the way that we've played. I doubted before the game. I thought before the game that doing Spurs on the counter would be the only way that we'd be able to get through, but I doubted that we'd actually be able to do it.
Yeah, and it's
actually been good so far.
On Sky's coverage, they're looking at Man United counter-attacks and all the time he's caught us in the counter-attack. Just watching a few Spurs players pitch side there. That was Teddy Sheringham, Simon Davidson, Cliff Jones pitch side for Spurs at the minute. Dave, how do you see the second half going? Do you think Spurs are going to make any more changes? We're looking at live pictures now. These are the teams in the tunnel.
Need more from Eriksen, this man.
We do, yeah, we do.
I think the thing is that, as I was saying just before half-time, it's like this is almost made for United now, where they've got 2 extremely fast players up top. Smash them on the counter-attack, basically.
Interesting to see if United are still as positive as they were in the first half.
Yeah.
What Solskjaer does here, because, I mean, he's talked a good game in terms of maintaining the, attacking football, attacking philosophy at United, which I think is massively overplayed sometimes. Because I remember Fergie winning about 3 league titles by playing extremely conservative football.
Yeah,
but
scoring late on.
But it'd be interesting to see if he's kind of brave enough to stick with the game plan from the first half and resist the temptation of maybe playing a bit more defensively.
Yeah, it looks like there's no further changes. We're looking at Dele Alli and Son having conversations. They're hoping that they'll be doing their handshake after a goal that they do whenever Heung-min Son scores. Need more from that man, Harry Kane. Will?
I can get Phil if you need it.
A lot of comments we're seeing on screen as well. A lot of engagement from
lots of
viewers.
questions coming in. One that I didn't get to before half-time from Ryan Tinsley. Thoughts on the January transfer window as a whole? Does it help or hinder clubs?
I'd actually love it if you had a twin called Phil and we just swapped you out intermittently. No one knew.
Phil and Will.
Just sling the denim jacket on the iconic denim jacket. No one will know.
Get on the Instagram feed.
Will and Bill.
Yeah.
Get on the Instagram.
Some people do call me Bill.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
More on it later.
Transfer window is the question. Who's that question from?
That is from Ryan Tinsley. Does it help or hinder clubs as a whole?
I think it's good for... It's exciting, isn't it? I mean, we love transfer deadline day, don't we?
Just quickly, on the screen now, what do you think to this? Lloris, the most overrated goalkeeper in the world. Honestly, don't get why people rate him so highly.
Couldn't disagree with him more.
A lot of Spurs fans, I think he's still a very good goalkeeper, but a lot of Spurs fans have been rooting for Gazzaniga, haven't they, to start more?
Gazzaniga has won every single match he's ever played in the Spurs shirt.
Really? And that's from Jay Trembaf.
But Hugo Lloris is a much better goalkeeper. Much better keeper all round.
So you think he's still world class? Should we go back to the other question? Sorry, I just saw that.
Do you know what? On the subject of Lloris, right? The issue with Lloris is he is prone to an error, which is magnified, I think, because he does make errors, and I think he is rash coming out from his goal. He does have that. He's very quick off his line, and if he's running out, he'll stick with it. And you've seen a few red cards or penalties given away or free kicks from that. What people don't see is the amount of his shot stopping, the amount of goals he saves per 90 minutes is incredible. And that's why, for me, having watched Spurs every 90 minutes of them, 90 minutes of every game this season pretty much, the amount of saves that he makes, he's an unbelievable shot stopper. The problem that he has is he does make errors that magnify people's opinion of him.
Do you think he's still at the same level? Because I remember a few years ago, it really was between him and De Gea as who was the best in the league. Do you think he's still at that level that he was like, say, 3 or 4 years ago?
I think David De Gea is a better goalie than Lloris.
Like, do you think Lloris has declined in some ways, or do you think there's just better keepers around
question.
now?
That's a good question. I don't think he's declined necessarily. I think that maybe De Gea's I think De Gea's certainly improved.
Here we go. Big chance.
And there's been the emergence of players like sorry, not the emergence, but we've seen the likes of Alisson and Kepa come to the Premier League. I'm a huge fan of Jan Oblak as well. I think Jan Oblak's a fantastic keeper.
Fantastic.
But I'd certainly still put Lloris in that bracket.
No.
6, 7 keepers in the world.
Working
hard. Still, I really would.
You know why Kepa's been so good? Because you haven't heard one story about him. Do you know what I mean? He's made no mistakes. No one's going, is he ready for the Premier League?
And it's because...
He's only a kid as well, you know. You don't want to... He's got that baby face. You don't
everyone was still pretty brutal to De Gea when he was just a kid, weren't
they? True.
And also when De Gea first came in, everyone was a bit unsure of De Gea. Do you remember?
Well, somehow Lindegaard was getting in the United side
exactly,
ahead of him. I mean, that is... that was...
Somehow.
I don't know what Ferguson was thinking. I really don't.
Third choice goalkeeper
at Burnley now.
At Burnley, so...
Or maybe fourth now. Hearts out the team.
They've got a lot of keepers, haven't they?
Yeah.
But
there was a question before that, though, wasn't there? Before the Lloris
about the transfer window.
But transfer window.
Help or hinder.
Hammer, what are your thoughts on the
January transfer window?
Help or tinder.
It's more, I think, a more interesting variation.
Harry Kane!
Saves yet again.
A big moment in the game in the second half. First chance for Spurs. 48 minutes gone. Kane 1-on-1. Big save to Gea.
That was pretty much straight the goalkeeper.
That was terrible.
It was.
Rashford was in a similar position.
Yeah, that sums up his day.
Hello. Pace on him.
Well,
good job. Not Martial.
Yeah,
otherwise
that was
Vertonghen.
Well played, Jan Vertonghen.
The January transfer window. Just quickly answer this.
We're never going to answer this question, are we?
It's not going away anytime soon. And I just think, so a more interesting question is what can the big clubs do now to really impact their season in the January transfer window? Spurs are pretty obvious. We've spoke about the need for a midfielder. Dele Alli there just crossing the ball narrowly out. I think Arsenal, Unai Emery's extinguished a lot of aspirations of Champions League football by saying they can only get loan deals in. So really, I think the most interesting one is perhaps Chelsea.
Yeah.
And we did a podcast that went live today, so go and download that if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Where I think they should really kind of go in for someone like a Sarabia. I think they're missing a goal scorer. From midfield. Sarabia, who plays at Sevilla, is having a hell of a season. Their whole front four are. But Mateo Kovacic, not really the attacking presence that he threatened to be at the start of the season. Ross Barkley actually contributing to a lot more goals in limited minutes as opposed to Kovacic, who's still a very well-rounded player, and there's probably still a place for him in the team, but not as someone who kind of stitches attacks together. And they're actually creating as many chances per game. Hello! Big chance for Spurs again. It's all how quiet you were leading up to that. That was... But they're actually creating as many chances as Conte's Chelsea. So
it is all Spurs in this second half. Dele Alli with another great save from De Gea. All Tottenham. Great start for this second half.
Get him in the bar!
That's cynical from Dele Alli.
Petulant.
And
I love that.
Technique on that.
There goes the...
That was very sassy.
There goes the
gambit.
That was like he had a 1920 cigarette in his hand that had a holder in it. Dished it out like that.
What's her name in it?
Femme Fatale.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Here we go. Let's have a look at this chance for Spurs again.
Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, that's one.
Dave, let's have a look at this. Kane.
Great
header. Dele Alli, it's a great header.
How far did he look at that?
Not just to save it, but to parry it away from Kane, who is literally on his
phenomenal save.
Dele Alli's done really well to generate that much power there from across. It was a little bit behind him.
Dele Alli scores a lot of goals in his head.
Yeah, he's good. I love Dele Alli.
So now the ball's out, at the centre of the pitch. Who else do people think need to add in January? It could be anyone from outside the top four.
Burnley.
I think the question was more, are we a fan of the transfer window, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think Burnley definitely need to...
Fulham need to sign anyone that can defend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible watching. Fulham have actually got some OK creative players, like the likes of Seri and Kenny and Sessegnon. I think Mitrovic, for the level they're at, is not a bad player either. But they concede so many goals, so many goals. They need to They just need a centre-back.
I also think teams like that, Huddersfield, 100% going down, they should be preparing for life now in the Championship with that money that they've got to do like a Burnley and have that bounce-back effect straight away.
It's difficult, though, to buy for the Championship when you're in the Premier League, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think, especially if they can keep Wagner, he is a good manager.
He is a good manager, yeah.
What's he lost 9 and a bounce at the moment? I personally think they should keep him as well. Like, Huddersfield had probably no right to be in a Premier League, given the actual squad that he got into the Premier League with.
They got promoted on a
negative. If they can keep Mounier and players like that for the Championship, then that should be fine. But if they lose,
they can't score goals, can
they? Just descend back into mediocrity.
Yeah. They got promoted on a negative goal difference.
Well, that's the thing. The writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall. The fact that they can't score goals. When they got promoted in the playoffs, they didn't score a goal in open play in the playoffs. They came through on 2 penalty shootouts, and that's been the case now that they've struggled to score goals. Price boost on your screen right now. Paul Pogba scored the second goal. That was 10-1. It's now 11-1 with Skybet. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. For more information, go to skybet.com. Do you like the look of that? You're a big fan of Pogba?
I do quite like that. I don't know. I see someone else scoring, though. I think Pogba is
he's more
purely creative today.
I disagree with that.
I'm not going to back it, but I like it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'd be tempted to go for someone else because Pogba's been purely creative today. I haven't really seen. I don't know. I've seen Pogba take a shot. Yeah, probably Martial.
Spurs need the second goal of the game.
Rashford.
Is he still on pens, Pogba?
He is, I believe. I think he would be in this squad. Yeah. In this starting 11.
Both teams had quite a few pens actually this season. United and Spurs both had quite a few
I think United might have had the most.
Yes, they have.
That's
not
great.
A bit of a fun question for you, Smithy, from Nicole. She says, question for the panel.
Yeah.
If you had your own team, what would you name it?
What?
If you had your own football club,
It's got to be Smithy FC, surely.
No, I
Get my belly out.
if you had, I don't think any of us were expecting that question, were we?
Well, that's what social media brings, the best and worst out of people.
And you read them all.
Chance for Phil Jones. You ready? Or was it for first goal?
That's already done, isn't it?
No, it's still alive.
Ashley Young.
To score first.
Man United have a corner. Ashley Young is over it.
Goal.
Oh, it's a great,
Very
brave
good
header that. Ben Davis with the header. And
Go,
United win again here. Ashley Young down the right.
Pick someone out. Pick someone out.
It's a great one. That's an old school. You very rarely see a goalie dive and catch it.
That was very good.
Very rarely see that.
You've got to call the club wherever it stems from. I'm not a fan of all these, the fancier names.
But
I feel like your question's not been completely muddled.
No, thank you, Chris. Thank you.
It's just got to stem from where the stadium is, the location is.
We're sure that we've seen the rise of, and Mike know more than me, #United.
They're not from a place, they're from the internet.
Exactly.
I think United are top of their league.
Fairly accurate.
Yeah, it's very true.
But
They're top of their league.
Yeah, fair play.
yeah.
Which is
Brought a lot of new interest to the non-league. So there is the cynical people out there about hashtag, but.
Yeah, it splits opinion that, didn't it?
Yeah,
in the Football League.
They're averaging an attendance
Phil
of 500 a
Jones.
game, aren't they? It's just
Something like that, yeah. They're doing great. They're doing great.
And
Harry Gay Borough, who they're ground sharing with as well.
Shout out,
fantastically as
because-
well. Top of the league in the ESPN.
Fair play to Spencer. Doing well, #United.
Any name? Just give me.
Yeah, we haven't actually answered the
give me-
question. What would you name it?
That was your opportunity to and you've not taken it. What are you doing?
Because I want.
As if I've thrown you a lifeline and you've just dismissed it.
Dave's not even
bothered to
speaking
type.
because he doesn't have a name. He's like, it's not even talking.
My team would be Hounslow FC. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Simple.
Right, better question. We'll forget that ever happened on the football social.
No, there's Hounslow. Was it Hounslow Harriers who take the team from
Depends like Beckham.
Shabuddy G is your assistant manager. I pay good money to
Assistant
see.
to that, yeah, big time. Ground down up front.
Big
There we
time.
go.
Next question, then, I think, because,
Tazza Bean says, thoughts on Leeds sending a spy to Derby
Yeah, we haven't
County?
spoken about this, and it was a big talking point at the weekend. For those of you who don't know,
I just like to say-
it has been admitted since. Bielsa has admitted that the spy was either an employee or was.
So
it was by
have
Leeds
Leeds
United.
actually broken any rules? Have they
So
broken any rules?
Bielsa's admitted that it was within the club there was a decision to send someone to training, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard's obviously not happy with that, so there's a whole debate going on now as to whether that's right or wrong. It's certainly quite unique. I don't remember hearing a story like this before of someone
It's not a very
sending...
English thing to do.
Play,
I can
yeah.
imagine a lot
Or at
of
least
it.
not an English thing to admit to do.
Yeah, to do that. Yeah, the whole perception of kind of, we are...
Chance?
the last, bastion of true sportsmanship. These things.
Again!
Wow. That would have been
Just as I've written off Pogba as a goal scorer, he's had 2 very good chances.
But that's not me saying that the English aren't cheats, but we just more.
Quick chance for
more
we'll talk to this chance because
covertly.
Pogba had another chance for United.
Done so well there.
Deflected off Trippier, and it's a tip over the bar from Lloris. Scrappy sort of build up here for it. Trippier gets his foot to it, but it goes over Lloris' head.
Very
Lloris
good
kicks over the
save
bar,
from you guys.
and it is a
Very good
corner.
save, that's very good
And
save.
Paul Pogba is
Give it a high
high-fiving
five.
his French teammate.
I don't like that.
They are Hugo Lloris.
Don't
They're
like that.
bonded by that
Modern
World Cup
football.
win, of course.
But Lampard said he doesn't buy if
fair
it's a
enough.
cultural thing. He's not buying it because he would adhere to whatever. Hello.
Oh,
Again,
Lloris,
good
yeah.
strong hand from
you're
Lloris.
not buying what? Sorry, Chris.
Lampard said,
that?
I don't care if it's a cultural thing. If I went over to manage in Italy,
Yeah.
in France, I would adhere
Abide
to
by
the
the-
cultural sort of, I suppose, whatever is
Values, morals, yeah.
yeah, is part and parcel in that league at that time. But it's hard. A lot of managers now put up big high walls around the stadium. It's obviously more commonplace than is let on. But I'm not that against it.
I think
There's a title race on. You got to
I
get
think my initial reaction was like, wow, that is I don't know.
Is all fair in love and war?
It's them small little margins.
Yeah, but is that? I don't think it's right, is it, to send someone? And like he said, they're doing shape work tactics. They're literally preparing for that game the day before, and he's sending someone from the club to. I don't know. It
is unsporting.
Yeah, it's
it is
definitely
unsporting.
It's definitely unsporting.
It is unsporting, but I just feel like I would expect that.
Would you though? Really?
I just think.
You
Like,
think it
what,
goes
a bit of
on more-
corporate espionage? Yeah, I mean,
Bielsa is an oddball as well.
yeah.
Don't know
I
what to
mean,
expect
it's
from him.
probably more so, yeah, from Bielsa than a litany of managers in the Championship. I'm not saying I condone it, but I sort of just half expect it. I mean, if I was Frank Lampard, don't get me wrong, I'd be extremely annoyed if he feels like he's honouring some sort of code of conduct, some unwritten code of conduct, and he's not getting the same professional respect from someone else.
Yeah.
But I'd also, I don't know, maybe just do my shape and tactics behind closed doors the day before a game.
But you'd like to think that your own training ground is behind closed doors, wouldn't you? I mean, that's mad in itself, that he feels like you can't do it at your own training ground because there might be a spy. It's just chance for
Yeah, but
Spurs
you
here.
get-
Ericsson whips it in. Harry Kane. Ericsson whips it in. Short corner from Spurs. Harry
Must have been
Kane
for about
header.
3
That's
yards.
another
And it is
chance for
in
Kane.
to David De Gea's hands. Spurs having a lot of joy. Nice little short
a
corner
great ball in from
routine
Eriksen.
from the training ground. Lamella and Ericsson.
man.
Jones is all
And
over
Spurs
it.
have had 3 big chances this half. Interestingly, Spurs didn't have a shot on target in the first half. They've had 3 big efforts this half. And Man United living a little bit dangerously here, McCullum.
That was good pressure from Phil Jones, though, on Kane,
was.
because if he hadn't been so tight on him,
Yeah.
definite goal.
Put him off.
So what do you boys think of running so far to the whole Bielsa and Spygate?
I think the best thing for me was just
played
the way he completely owned it, and he was like, "Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
I've done it a lot. I've done it since 2002."
That's the other thing, by the way, is that
I
how...
wonder what happened in
Not just in this
2002.
Well, because Lampard said as well that there was before the other game against Leeds, sorry, there was a man in the bushes that they didn't know what he was doing.
just thought it was a
Someone-
pervert.
How long has this been going on for? We don't know. We can't categorically say, of
flash up,
course.
what?
He was
But
late.
has this been going on all season? Do other people do it?
He definitely did. I think. Well, Gary Neville came out and said it was like they do it in Spain, and it's quite.
I love
common
Gary
practice.
Neville's tweet about why you can't get so the English press can't get so sanctimonious about this when they
Yeah,
they
they're
go out
the
of the way
worst.
to give away England's tactics.
They give away our own
Exactly,
tactics.
exactly,
Yeah, I just feel like it's football isn't the most honourable of sports. Despite being the beautiful game. I remember reading. I can't remember in whose autobiography it was. I think this was about the Calciopoli scandal in Italy, where
Played Eric Lamella. Good tackle.
people would try and bribe the referee. People try and bribe the referees just because they thought other teams might try and bribe the referee.
Yeah.
And it's just like
It's a vicious
just
cycle,
always
isn't it?
prepare for the worst, I guess.
It's like the Tour de France approach. If he's on the juice, everyone's on the juice.
Yeah,
Juice
there we
is good.
go.
Which we don't know and we don't condone, obviously, naming no names. Just
You do know that back in the day in the Tour de France, people used to actually break away from the peloton or whatever, go and hop on a train to the next
Really?
destination
That's
and
class.
get off and
Brilliant.
cycle
Charles
off
Smith.
there.
Chance for
No one-
Spurs!
no,
Oh, he's turned his back on the ball.
It's good.
But, I mean,
Eric Lamella, what a chance that was. He's turned his back.
Smithy, why have you gone quiet, mate? What
I was going to
happened?
say, let's get the focus back on the match in hand. Spurs with another chance. It's come off Eric Lamella's
Big
shoulder.
chance that is, Adam.
Is a good chance, David.
Adam?
Harry Kane off Andy
Very on spot.
Right, let's have another question from social media, not about the Tour de France, about this game, if we can, please.
What's your favourite peloton? No, it's not. Apart from Ramsey's contract, are there any players' contracts that you believe are running out and not going to be renewed? So
Believe that are running out.
believe, yeah.
I want to believe.
Yeah, just want to believe.
The Toby Alderweireld one is an interesting one because Spurs have
Chance?
exercised the option to extend it, but there's still a buyout clause at the end of this
25
summer, which
mil, isn't it?
You're
yeah,
playing
exactly
really well
that.
here,
Which
last
is
10 minutes.
when I heard that Toby Alderweireld had signed the contract extension, I was like, brilliant. And then I read the small print, and it means he can be bought for 25 million in the summer. So it's
I'd probably
an
take
interesting
25 mil
situation.
from now, mate.
Would you?
He's 30. His injuries have become like
They have, that's
recurrent
true.
issues, haven't they?
But other
If he can help you secure third place and then sell him for 25 mil, you've got good young
Spurs
defenders
should
in the ranks.
definitely finish third this
You
season.
do still want a replacement though there, surely.
big
Like,
yeah. But he's not as irreplaceable as he was 2 years ago.
No, agreed.
I just still think the Ramsey one's crazy that Juventus, Barcelona, not maybe not
Great play.
Barcelona.
Go on then, Martial.
Anthony.
Chance for Martial. Man United's first chance the second half.
Pogs! What a
Save
save!
Lloris.
Deflected
First
as well.
chance the second half for Man United. It's been all Spurs. It was a
Hugo's
good
been a
chance.
busy boy this
Yeah,
year.
3
hasn't
shots
he?
on
Good
target
save.
for the second half.
Pogba on
Big.
Lloris again. That is a
Jones.
free kick. Oh, hello, little.
Nice tactical one.
Okay,
That.
just
Phil
fell.
Jones, and that's what Solskjaer's coached into him. Look at that elite press from Phil Jones, mate. Just winning the ball 20 yards in the opposition.
He has been
Great tackle.
fantastic from Trippier there.
You sure?
No.
Classic
You're saying he
Trippier,
dived?
that is.
Getting a
Look
bit
at this.
nitty-gritty, isn't it?
So this is the chance for Man
Great play
United.
from,
Martial
from
Takes so
Tony
much
in
time, but then he picks out the right
there.
pass.
picks out a great pass from
calm
Pogba.
there.
Oh, it's deflected
Should
as well.
Pogba score there?
I think Pogba could put a bit more power on that. But
Taking a deflection
again,
off Ben
good-
Davies.
yeah.
Wicked deflection. It's a good save from Hugo Lloris.
Both teams been very good on the ball in the opposition's final third
Yeah.
at this start of this second half, and very
Kept a
erratic
club
at the
record,
back.
82 Premier League clean sheets for Tottenham. That's what I'm talking about. Great man.
I love it when those moments of like proper fandom slip into Smithy on the live stream, you know, because he's very professional throughout. And he's like, 82 clean sheets.
We just saw shots of Solskjaer as well. It's interesting that Solskjaer's got an amazing record against Spurs when he was playing.
Really?
And in 1998, he was set to join Tottenham for $5.5 million from Man United.
Oh,
because he wasn't playing for them.
And
But subsequently, he decided to stay at Old Trafford and, of course, won the treble and had a big part in winning the treble. Obviously, scored the winning goal. So interesting.
This
there.
is not.
Pochettino was at the camp now that night, wasn't he, as well?
Yes, he was, yeah.
This is starting to spice up a bit.
Solskjaer scored 7 goals and won 9 of his 11 Premier League appearances for Man United against Tottenham. Was that, of course, top scoring Norwegian in Premier League history. Shall we have some trivia now? Got some good trivia.
Smithy, I'd say most of that Man United squad won most of their game against Spurs.
Correct. Correct. I can't argue with that. They did, yeah. Do we want some trivia?
always
They've had a little glance there, by the way. So if Dave's looking at the...
I saw it.
Right.
Just like the Christmas pub quiz.
Can you name the 8 players who have played for both Tottenham and Manchester United?
Berbatov.
Teddy Sheringham.
Carrick.
Okay. Berbatov is 1.
Teddy Sheringham.
Carrick is 1. Teddy Sheringham is 1. That's 3.
So is this
There we
8
go.
Premier League?
No, it's all time.
All
There's
time, interesting.
Teddy Sheringham, who said
Danny
that?
Blanchflower.
No.
Did he ever play for United?
Teddy Sheringham's 1.
Dunno.
Berbatov's 1.
There's got to be another
Carrick's
one in the
one.
Premier League era, though.
There's another very good... Someone I would describe
Berbatov.
as one of the most underrated strikers that played for both. Really good player. Rio raved about him in training. A very underrated player that played for both.
This is. I
Soldado.
should be getting this. I should be getting this.
No.
United. Oh, Saha.
Yes.
Louis
Louis
Saha.
Saha
was
was
great.
Very
shout.
underrated striker. Ericsson on the ball.
Is there any more from the Premier League era? Or are they all...
So we've got Teddy Sheringham, we've got Dimitar Berbatov, we've got Louis Saha, we've got Michael Carrick. That is 4. There is 4 harder
I'm going to
ones.
know a lot of these, actually.
But are they like old?
One is... A couple of them are old, yeah.
Wow.
The other 2 are both
Are we
Premier League.
talking
Oh,
90s?
Premier League, okay.
80s?
We're talking one's 80s, one's even older than that.
Ah, I forget them. Give us them.
And then you've got two others. One is...
80s, though.
One's still playing.
What, and he was playing in...
Yes, it's 48, still playing.
Say Roberto.
I'll give you the two older ones, Alan Brazil and Garth Crook. So the other 2 you should get. Or, sorry, one of them you should get.
Okay.
But one of them is hard, actually.
Any keepers?
No.
OK.
They're both still playing, one in the Championship, one in League One.
Tom Cleverley never played for Spurs.
No.
He's in the Premier League,
Simon
so-
Davis.
No.
Simon Davis did play for both, though, didn't he? Did he come through the United ranks?
He
No,
did.
he didn't play. He didn't make a first appearance, though, did he?
Oh,
Chance for
good
Spurs!
ball.
Oh!
Come on,
Chance!
Dennis.
Put him
Spread
through.
it.
Is he going to ball it?
Spread
Is he
it.
going to ball it?
Spread it.
I thought that was in. is keeping Man United in this game because he's very good.
I feel like that was straight down his throat.
He should have scored it, Smithy. He should have scored.
Interesting here, right? So this is the chance. Harry Kane. Harry Kane sitting deep as number 10, like we spoke about earlier. Great pass for
great
Dele.
pass, yeah.
I thought he was going to
shot.
slip Son, but he didn't. He went for goal. And you're
Good
right.
for
It's straight
Hayes.
That's his ground so well
From
there.
Lindelof covering that Son's
Marcus
on the back
Rashford.
post as well.
It's a
Yeah,
good
true.
chance, but De Gea's. I mean, it's an easy save, really.
Need
But
rapid-
should he have slipped Heung-min Son?
I think, but I was looking at
difficult,
at the run, and Lindelof's positioning was great throughout that.
Tackle, no?
He's given up.
Edge of the area, free kick.
Those
to
other two
Tottenham.
players, this is going to really wind me up. One's still playing
One's
now
still
in the
playing.
Championship.
They're both still playing.
In the Championship, that's my domain.
Whoa.
One of them, yeah, but goal scorer not too long ago. You definitely should know one of them. Definitely should know
Well,
one of
don't-
them.
A goal scorer?
Well, I mean,
Attacking midfielder then.
yeah, he's a striker. That sort of young, high prospect. Man United, then came to Spurs.
Oh.
Campbell, Fraser Campbell.
Yes, Fraser Campbell.
Shout.
When was Fraser Campbell at Spurs? Like,
Spurs
that
on
completely
loan,
went over
yeah,
my head. that-
When basically you took Berbatov, that sort of era.
Did
we
you
had no one.
loaned
Fraser
Fraser
Campbell
Campbell?
I don't remember.
Pathetic.
Did we? No, we didn't. Did we?
United loaned.
Chance for Spurs.
That was a
other
mean
one?
effort from
Zeki Friars, remember him?
Okay. That's
Do you not remember him?
I actually remember. What era was he?
He's still playing now, isn't
Still playing now, yeah.
Fries, yeah.
He was. That was a transfer that
not
Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't happy about.
Yeah. That went completely over my head.
That was one of the
Clearly wasn't taking
transfers
notice.
that sparked. Do you remember that the Sir Alex Ferguson was talking about Daniel Levy and their relationship hard to deal with?
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the transfers he was referring to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there we go.
Still
Good
the best
quiz.
of a
I'll tell you what, though, Fraser Campbell, what a shout. Shout of the day from David
Yeah.
Jackson.
Well done, Dave.
That's
Very
quality.
good.
A lot of dust coming out of that.
So it's still Man United 1, Spurs 0. 67 minutes gone in this game. Interestingly, Spurs have won more Premier League games when trailing at half-time than any other side. 34. And that links nicely to a price boost because Spurs are currently 11-2 to win
Price
this game.
boost.
They've had a lot of chances.
That's a
this
great
half.
tradition, Will started.
A lot of chances. And we're just seeing shots from Solskjaer, set to become
Yep.
the first Man United manager ever to win his first 6 games.
But
if he wins
also,
this.
United haven't lost a game. United haven't lost a game when up at half-time either in the last 70 Premier League
Yeah,
matches.
Something's got to give.
Something has to give.
We haven't lost it. I was reading earlier. We haven't lost a game
At Old Trafford.
Yeah.
when we've been up at half time since 1984.
You've never Man United. This
I think
is one of
it's
the
against
crazy stats. Have never lost.
Ref! Tasty
In Premier League history, have never lost a match when being up at half time.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Another chance for
Chance,
Spurs.
Smith.
Kane. Go on. Could have gone down there.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 United bodies
United
in the
are
box there.
defending
It's
well
difficult.
today.
It's
United
difficult.
are defending
But
well.
also countering to the point where Spurs can't commit that extra man as well, aren't they? Like, look at.
Do you know
look
what I
how
think?
deep
Yeah, I think players have been
Eriksen
tracking back
is.
well.
Yeah.
Lucas Moura is a miss for Spurs today because he's injured. He's exactly the kind of player off the bench with his pace that would cause Man United problems.
Oh, he's
And we
fantastic,
saw at Old
wasn't he?
Trafford.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 goals.
When are you gonna
That's
see
a big
Skip?
loss for Spurs, him being injured. So I can't see how else we'll change. I think Llorente's on the bench, but I can't. We've brought Lamella on now. We've got all.
Great against Tranmere, wasn't they?
Yeah, it's got actually.
To be fair, I mean, Llorente's good in the air, and if
He is good.
if you had him and Kane
I
up
like
front in the
Llorente.
last 10 minutes,
Fine.
then
He might do that.
I
He
wouldn't-
might
I
well
wouldn't
do that.
yeah, I'd fancy your chances.
Beautiful eyes, Lauren.
Spurs need a goal though into the 70-minute mark. Still, Tottenham 0, Man United 1. Trippier out wide.
Oh, nice.
Tottenham's link-up play is so slick, man, up front.
Yeah, the front 4 of Spurs have been.
Don't shoot.
Son on his right, bang.
Don't shoot. Oh, come on.
Corner for Tottenham Hotspur. Come on, you Spurs.
Dele Alli fuming on the edge of the box there. He should have laid it back. Tottenham are getting a little bit desperate. Don't lose that poise.
And as you're saying desperate, they just cut to the Spurs fan. They look very nervous in the.
I think he mouthed something along the lines of, what was that, Smithy? Are you a good lip reader? Or?
I don't think we can repeat what was said there. Anyway, corner to Spurs again. Loads of corners. Eriksen.
Anyone had a bet on
Whips it in.
corners?
David De Gea is man of the match in this game. It's another corner, another chance. Toby Alderweireld, a man linked with Man United, and it's another save from David De Gea, who's been man of the match this game.
I just think the legs of David De Gea have been man of the match.
Come on.
Fantastic with his legs tonight.
Although,
David Jones, Phil Jones,
David
foul
Jones.
on.
Great presenter.
Yeah, presenter. Yeah. Phil Jones found on Harry Kane, free kick to Spurs as we watch a replay of this corner. Oh, it's a good save.
that's probably the best save, because the others have been right down.
That's a really good save, yeah.
I always
He's
feel like
really
a
had to-
slow-mo replay never does a goalie justice because you don't see it in real time and see how quick they have to react.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was a brilliant
But like,
save.
there's not much more Alderweireld could have done.
Can we get that game?
That's got going best bits.
Close up with Dave Jackson.
The close-up's not doing any of us any favours.
No, particularly not
Yeah,
Dave.
they've,
Right, free kick for Spurs. Will it be Trippier? Will it be Eriksen? Will it
Lovely
be
little
Harry Kane?
sun-kissed tan, ain't you, mate, from the slopes.
Yeah, it's nice. That,
He's
isn't
been
it?
skiing.
Yeah, he has
so,
been
you know.
skiing, Dave. There he is. Look at this shot.
That beard. The shape
Right,
on it.
free kick for Spurs. Harry Kane is over it. Come on, Kane.
What?
Easy for the goalkeeper.
That handling. Love it.
De Gea and Lloris both been fantastic today.
That's something that, you know, like,
Save
when
all
you
the
watch
cameras.
football with your dad, that's something they proper appreciate when goalkeepers catch the ball.
I said earlier, it's very rare now that goalie dives and catches. Pat Jennings
that's
used to
it.
do that all the time.
Bloody Gordon Banks used to catch everything. Did he? Cool.
They did.
Leicester legend.
No evidence.
So, you know.
Smithy, questions piling up in social corner. One for the boys. How long will it take for Pulisic to get first-team football once he arrives at Chelsea?
Ooh, I'm a bit unsure about that signing, you know.
No?
Because I think
Why is that?
because I think it paves the way for Hazard to potentially leave in the summer. I think
He's the right winger, though, Pulisic.
No, they're not. They don't play in exactly the same position. But I think Chelsea are looking to strengthen across defensive midfield, attacking midfield. I think they're strengthening in January, which might pave the way for them if they've got backup for them. And if Real Madrid come calling, I think it's very hard for them to turn that down as much as they want to keep him. Or it's very hard for him to turn that down, should I say, not Chelsea, because they would turn that down. And I just think...
Yeah, been turning down
Pulisic,
Willian.
he's not going to be...
Oh, Ron.
I don't know. I think he's a good player, but I think he's quite inconsistent in games I've seen.
Yeah, he's only 20 years old.
He is
Yeah.
young. He is young.
It is-
yeah.
I think...
he's a
64
good player,
mil,
don't get me
64
wrong.
mil, I think he'll be starting pretty
Yeah, I
pretty
think so as
quickly.
well.
Yeah.
I think it's...
He's a good player, don't get me wrong. I just think he's, you know...
Apparently Sarri was interested at the start of the season as well. And I think his numbers only look like the... I mean, he's playing under a more defensive coach. He was absolutely brilliant under
Under Tuchel.
PSG now. It's under Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel, yeah.
He was absolutely brilliant then. Had his kind of breakout season, contributed to like around 15 goals in the same amount of starts and a lot of minutes off the bench. But Lucien Favre is a little bit more of a defence-minded coach, and his numbers have suffered as a result. But also Jadon Sancho, he's had an astronomical rise in the same sense. So I feel like this is a good deal for all parties because he's not going to start ahead of Sancho. Willian and Pedro are 30, 31, 32.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's a long-term...
Yeah,
signing,
and he plays on the right wing. So, I mean, ideally, I think Hazard would push more so for a move if he had to remain as a number 9, wouldn't he? I think he despises playing at 9.
I don't
He
know why
scores
he
and he's
plays
still
as number
fuming
9. Because
post-match.
I don't know why they're playing him as a
Fume dog.
false 9. Because
It's funny because most attackers love to be in the centre, don't they? But Hazard is very...
but that's not
very
where
set
Hazard's
on.
most effective, is he?
He wants
Not
60,
necessarily,
70
but he-
touches a game, doesn't he? And he doesn't get that as a false number 9.
We have a big sub for Man United, interestingly. Lukaku's on. What do you make of that substitution?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, we were saying
Big
like,
Rob.
how positive would Solskjaer remain, and he's sticking to his word at least.
Yeah.
Living and dying by
Yeah,
the sword, isn't he?
Oh, chance for
Dele
Dele.
David!
David
Stop
De Gea
it.
with
That's the best
another
one,
save.
Vince.
Man of the match easily. Dele Alli, lovely chance. And it's pummeled away by David De Gea. Martial off for that Lukaku substitution. Another corner for Spurs. Eric Lamella's bringing it into the box. He goes down. Is that? No, it's not. It's a goal kick.
Could be a yellow
De
card.
Gea's new haircut is looking fantastic.
Never
as
mind
well.
his hair. Look
I
at this
must say.
save. Let's have a replay of this.
Soon has to
Both.
be a fan of that,
Both.
wouldn't he? The two all over.
Lovely. This is where Ericsson is brilliant. His creativity. Picks a pot. What a pass that is from Ericsson.
That's very
It's a
good.
lovely touch from Dele Alli.
That pass is absolutely unreal.
Incredible. And again, though, it is
Down the middle
it's
again.
actually
Yeah.
straight at him, isn't it, really?
Smithy, these slow
A lot of
replays.
these saves have been straight at him.
Yeah.
Apart from the Alderweireld one.
What I've taken from that pass, that was like a pitching wedge. His foot is just.
Yeah.
He's so good at them, though, isn't he? Just like taking out about 3 players
Yeah.
with an aerial ball like that.
Just
So
killing
Lukaku is on,
the distance and height
Hamill,
on it.
and that is his 200th Premier League start, interestingly. 200th Premier League start for Romelu Lukaku, but not got the best record against Spurs, one of the clubs that he doesn't have a great record against. Scored just 1 goal in 12 appearances against Tottenham.
I think he might get one today.
I've got
got
a
a good feeling about it.
Same with Son. His son's on a great run of form, but again, he's never scored against Man United. So
So what odds are we talking for Lukaku? I want another.
they're looking now. They will give you the odds imminently. And let us know in the stream as well if you've got bets on with Sky Bet. Any predictions that you think for the last 15 minutes, how you think this game is going to unfold.
It's a really good game. It's been a long time since I've been this entertained by United. I mean, they have scored 20 goals in the last 4 games, haven't they?
It's not going well for
Yeah,
Spurs
in
at the minute.
a big game especially, isn't it? It's, away from home in a big game, it's I can't remember the last
Who would you
time
say
we
has been the better
played.
team overall now? The fact that Spurs have had this 10-minute spell.
Yeah, I think Spurs have probably created
edged it on chances,
the better opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe the shooting could have been better, but I think Spurs have edged it.
Talking to Lukaku, there is the price boost on your screen to score in 90 minutes. It was 8-1, it is now 10-1. Must be 18 plus full terms and conditions apply, but don't forget, it's got poor record against Spurs, just 1 goal in 12 appearances, but he is a price boost from 8-1 to 10-1, which you can get with Skybet right now. Bit of a break in play, throw in for Spurs. Let's go to social corner, Will, see what people are saying in the stream.
Great question, very apt right now. Atia Reddy says, where would you put De Gea in your all-time list of best Premier League goalkeepers?
I think another one right up there is another former Man United one, Peter Schmeichel as well.
Course, yeah.
Carroll,
Van der Sar as well, I'd put up there as well, to be honest.
I think
there's been, even when he was at Fulham as
Who's the best Man United goalkeeper in Premier League history then? Because you've got 3 great keepers there.
So difficult. I think I would be just about... The problem is De Gea hasn't won as much as the other two did, but at the same time, De Gea's had to deal with some shocking defences in front.
He's been more important from the start.
Yeah. So I would maybe say... I'd probably say De Gea. I think
De Gea
getting
there on
Pog.
No. It is important, but Schmeichel gets on his legacy, probably.
Yeah, of course. And Schmeichel... And I think where Schmeichel might edge it, actually, was his presence in the dressing room.
That's famous. Remember that when he used to come out of the famous...
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. And he
Which
was...
Casper does now. Have you seen Casper has the same body language as Peter?
They're so similar.
So similar.
Body language.
I think last year was the best Premier League season for a goalkeeper ever.
With De Gea.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best seasons in general.
How United are finishing second with that kind of porous defence is absolutely beyond me. Saving 14 more goals than is expected of you, that's pretty unmatched, actually, since Opta records began.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal season. Any other keepers that we throw in the mix there? David Seaman?
David Seaman is... we're talking about goalkeepers. Goalkeepers making saves that you expect to make. David Seaman's probably made the only save where I've gone, how's he done that?
Sheffield United.
The
Sheffield United save is one of the best saves I've ever seen, because he was literally it was behind him and he clawed it back.
FA Cup
and if you haven't seen that, David Seaman's save against Sheffield United is incredible. And also, David Seaman is, again, you have to look at what they've won. He was keeper, won a lot of trophies with Arsenal. Any other goalies we're sticking in this? Petr Cech?
I think Petr Cech has got to be top 3 at least. He was so good for Chelsea.
Oh, this is a nice... Oh, that's another injury for Spurs, by the way. Dele Alli has gone down clutching his knee, and this is studs in the...
Potentially... Oh, that's
filthy from Paul
Pogba.
That is studs to the knee, and I think he's got away with it.
Very lucky.
No, red card.
You got yellow.
He's been booked, so it's not... Is that not a red?
I think that's a yellow.
What, studs to the knee?
So that could easily be a red, I think. Is
Dele Alli all right? Is he still playing?
He's all right.
I hope he's all right.
Don't worry.
I think he's...
is that yellow card for Pogba?
Is that just part of shaping up to do that drag back? I don't know if he's targeting his
I will say, I don't think it's deliberate, but I think it's so high and off the ball that I've seen them given, is what I say. If you don't know in punditry, say I've seen them given. It's a good way of getting out of if you have to make an opinion.
Get out of jail free card.
So,
on the counter.
Dele Alli is back on the pitch. Yellow card for Paul Pogba. Any other keepers we haven't forgotten? So we've got Petr Cech, Seaman, Schmeichel.
Jens Lehmann.
No, you wouldn't put him up at the top.
No. You're forgetting...
Pepe Reina as well.
Nigel
Pepe Reina gets out Michael McCullough.
Pepe Reina got the Golden Glove
for
like 3 years in a row.
Best goalkeeper in the Premier League history.
Lamella!
He's up there, was what I'm saying.
Nigel Martin.
No, I don't think McCubbin's saying he's the best of all time.
No, I'm just saying he's probably in the top 10.
Look at Dave's face. He's appalled with that shout.
He got the Golden Glove 3 seasons in a row.
I'll stand back. What have you got to say?
Don't quote me on that.
I think Joe
Hart nonsense.
Oh, nonsense, apparently.
What about Mark Schwarzer?
What about him?
Back to Premier League win at 40.
Dave's really not happy.
You know.
What about him? Yeah, go on.
Ben Foster.
I think we were unanimous.
It's
Massimo Taibbi.
Schmeichel is...
He's got...
Remember Taibbi? He wasn't the best keeper, was he?
No, but for
who aged the best though? Because I remember David James being, not very.
David James, he played in the Star Six.
Anthony Amy aged very well.
Brilliant.
Anthony Amy's
he
finished.
was just
I mean, not very good as Arsh, but erratic. And then at 36,
was it at Pompey that it was David James the goal with Sylvain Distin and Sol Campbell ahead of him?
Yeah.
What a defensive unit that was. Yeah, love that.
Primus as well. Do you remember
Primus on the right back, Matty Taylor at left back.
What a flashback.
Pedro Mendes, Crouchy, Defoe. They had a great team, Pompey. So 78 minutes gone, and it's still Man United beating Spurs 1-0 at Wembley. At the 78th minute mark, interestingly, David De Gea has made 9 saves in this match alone. Only once before, has he made more saves in a Premier League match? That was against Arsenal last season, 14 saves. He also made 9 saves against Spurs in August 2011.
That game,
record amount of saves in this season.
I met Tomlinson in the pub. And I sent him to the wrong pub and he missed United's first 2 goals. and he just tuned in for the last 60 minutes where you're getting peppered.
Interesting sub for Spurs. Harry Winks is off and Fernando Llorente's on. So bearing in mind, we've already had
Dalot coming off as
Sissoko
well.
For Lamella, and now we've got Winks off for Llorente. So it's incredibly positive substitutions from Poch, who's chasing the game. So we now have Ericsson, Ali, Lamella, Kane, Son, and Llorente all on the pitch.
Smithy, last-minute shout for best goalkeepers in the Premier League era from a certain John Stiff. He's gone for Shay Given.
Shay Given was good.
That's a good shout.
Shay Given's a good shout.
It's a good shout.
Was he in goal when Manchester City won their first league title? Well, second.
He was. Hart was there. No.
Did he just play in that kind of ascendancy to it?
Yeah, it was on the...
Because he deserved that move, but it kind of
think of him as Newcastle,
don't
you? You think Shay Given, I think Newcastle.
He was.
To be fair, though, Shay Given left, I think, in January 2009 to go City. Newcastle got relegated 3 months later. Like it was a big.
I think he's at Derby now, coaching. Coaching staff at Derby. Yeah,
he was on City staff for a little while.
He was,
wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a part of the coaching staff at Derby. Got a lot of Premier League pedigree, isn't they? Lamps, Jody Morris. It's like you have to play a certain amount of games to be in there.
You miss Jody Morris. Now is it Derby or does he still live in London? Because you're like Bez, isn't you?
I wouldn't say Bezzies. We do have conversations. Yeah, he's a lovely fellow, Jody, and he's done very well in his youth setup.
Are you in any WhatsApp groups with him? Because that's always defines a good friendship.
I've communicated with him on WhatsApp. I sent him a congratulations message when they beat Man United.
Nice.
By all accounts, he's a very good coach as well.
I wasn't mugging you off, by the way, though. I just thought
he's a very, very good guy. We're going to try and get him on the Football Social as well. We're going to try and get him on the Football Social this season. He watches. I know he's seen bits of the show, which is good. Of course, so we'll try and get him on anyway.
If we live stream Derby anytime soon, yeah.
Well, he might be at the game then, but we'll... another substitution.
That is very true.
Diogo Dalot.
Interesting one, this.
Who's he coming on for?
Jesse Lingard. I don't mind that. If it was going to be a straight swap with Ashley Young, I'd be a bit worried that we'd be shaking up the defence too much in the build-up.
Slightly worried now because there's 82 minutes gone. Yeah. And Spurs have dominated this second half and haven't scored, and I just feel it's not our day.
If Spurs don't get nothing at this game, that surely has them out of the title race, isn't it?
I'd agree.
Just wanted to get that clarified.
But nailed on for third.
No, yeah,
I would say.
Nailed on for third.
I think Spurs should finish third. I do think Tottenham are comfortably the third best team in the Premier League based on how they're playing. I think Chelsea are an odd team, really. With the amount of quality they have, I just feel like Sarri's system's getting a little bit found out of recent weeks, and I'm actually looking at Man United now and thinking that they could, have a little late run of form. Not for third, maybe, but I think they could certainly pip Arsenal.
I still think Chelsea are good enough for fourth place.
Yeah, I'd expect those to the top. I think the two teams to miss out will be Man United and Arsenal, but United are in a good run of form. They go equal on points with Arsenal if they win this. So
which was unthinkable.
Exactly
before Christmas.
And a few of your Football Daily boys have had a few bets, haven't they?
Ever since they shook hands, this has happened, which is quite fun.
Yeah. About who's finished higher out of Arsenal and Man United.
The Arsenal fans were...
Let us know in the stream. Who do you think will finish higher? Arsenal or Man United will? Maybe we can...
Well, we've had a question on it as well, so we want to know, do you think that United will finish above Arsenal? That was from Birch Aziz, so we've kind of already answered that one.
No, they weren't. We're like finally starting to get some players back from injury. We'll go on a bit of a decent run, and the rest will be history.
You say decent run. Man United, this will be their 6th win on the bounce.
Yeah, I still don't think they're going to win this game, to be honest. I reckon this might end as a draw.
Do you think? 6 minutes left?
It's a draw.
I think Solskjaer's riding his luck here. United have conceded high-quality chances.
Yeah.
But then...
I just don't think it's Spurs' day.
Not very decisive from all of your most decisive players.
Yeah. We haven't been very clinical today. And it's worth pointing out as well that Man United's goal was very clinical. That's
what you need now.
It's one-on-one. So people will say he should score there, Rashford, but it's a very tight angle. It's great.
But as far as away, attacking endeavours away from home, United have been pretty competitive.
Yeah, we've created a lot more than
10 minutes in the second half. Yeah, so it deserve a point at the very least, but I think losing out on 3 points would be harsh on Spurs.
This would be
gone wrong.
Good touch.
Not great. He has been pretty rubbish since he's been on, actually. But
So 85 minutes we're approaching.
Oh, hard job, isn't it? Coming on.
But Dalot's playing so high. I think Dalot's pretty much been like for like with Lingard and Dalot. He's just playing kind of in that front four, almost a 4-4-2 now.
Maybe just giving Young a bit of protection because Son is an absolute weapon.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have pace down that flank. And I think that's where we've been pretty weak, actually, is down the right today.
It's barely for knocking it long like that, isn't it?
Not impressed with that clearance now.
Well, it's still what 5 minutes plus
chuntering
like
over
kind of like injury time, isn't it? It's a bit, you know.
I don't know, the way that things are going, Spurs have... De Gea's just been up for everything.
Maybe I want to see some positivity from you, mate. I want you to get behind the boys for the last 5 minutes.
mate, yeah?
Come on, the Spurs.
Come on.
Come on, they deserve a point.
Smith, I'll be a Spurs fan for the last 5 minutes.
Thank you, mate.
Come on, then! Every week we've got to sit here and watch this.
Chance to Rense.
Oh, yes,
Well played, Llorente.
Harry Kane!
What a save!
Llorente.
Come on, the white!
It's a lovely header down. McCubbin said that. He said he's good in the air. Brilliant shout. He is good in the air. Headed it down from Llorente. Big chance for Kane.
That's smart.
But De Gea, I'm sorry,
De Gea's
I've
legs
pulled
are
that
just
a minute
on
before.
form.
De Gea has been up to everything Spurs have thrown at him. He's unquestionably the man of the match in this game. I just don't think it's Tottenham's day. You know, you have these days where nothing seems to go.
That's from Deloitte.
You know, after you
You know, you have these days where nothing seems to go. I just
for
feel
sure.
like this is one of those days. It's going to end 1-0 Man United.
On Romelu.
That's what he's on for.
Here we
isn't
go.
it?
No shots on target in the first half for Tottenham. 10 in the
That's what we do. That's what we do.
10 shots on target in the second half.
10 saves from David De
Oh,
Gea.
yes, Toby.
United have been that bad defensively, have they?
10 saves from David De Gea in this game, which is more than any other game this season.
Probably have.
So it shows that Spurs are making chances. We're just not scoring them, Dave.
And they've not been from outside the box either, have they?
No, they've all been
one
from
from Eric, one from Eric.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They've all been like quite close.
Everything has been down the middle, though. Like, De Gea's had a good game, but if you were to watch all those chances...
Yeah,
back,
you think they're not world-class saves?
If he's
do you think?
conceded...
I think that Kane chance.
Go on!
Penalty.
I think
But yeah, you do-
dive there, weren't they?
There is that thing.
Yeah.
That linesman had the same facial expression for the whole game.
Yeah, so he should do as well. Professional.
Yeah.
Totally.
Give a bit of characteristic. It's easy for me to say. See you, bye. A bit of charisma.
What was that?
If you come out with a bit of charisma as a linesman, you could make your own
That's
career.
a good save. That's a good save.
They've all been solid saves.
If he does not making that save, though,
Yeah.
that's
It's
his
one of
near
those saves where it's a good save, but if he doesn't make it, people go, you should save that.
Do you think
Yeah.
after, you know, if you're a Spurs striker, this is a barely worth, a path barely worth going down. But if David De Gea has made a couple of brilliant saves at the start of the games, you just think, am I going to get past him? Does he have that fear factor that, that we're talking, harking back to a conversation about Premier League greats? As a striker, did you fear David De Gea? I think you do.
Yeah, I think he's
Just like you were talking about having one of those days where you're going to get nothing past him.
You just have days like this where I just can't see us, no matter how many chances we create late, I can't see us scoring because of how good De Gea is
That
in
from
goal.
Jones. That was world class from Jones.
Didn't know Jones had that in his locker. A little Hong
Second
Kong
karate
Philly,
kick
mate.
clearance we've seen today. One from Young, I
So
believe.
Spurs dominating possession, still on the ball. Ericsson plays it out to Ben Davis. We're in the
Just that one,
88th
David,
minute.
put that out.
Yeah.
Should be a bit of injury time.
One karate kick clearance.
Karate kicks.
Come on, Spurs.
So tense last 2 minutes in the studio. Adam Smith
on,
is
Spurs.
thoroughly absorbed,
Come on,
aren't you,
Spurs.
mate?
There it is. There it is.
Come on,
Turn. Shoot.
Come on, the bloody Lily Whites.
Oh,
Cross
get
it.
in. Who's at the back stick?
That is a chance.
Nando.
And it is another save for David De Gea, who is racking up these saves.
That's rank.
That was
Trippier whips the ball in.
rancid
The
left
touch
foot
from
shot.
it's out of his feet. They're tough, though, those
We
chances.
record our 7-a-side games now, and literally 9 out of 10 of my finishes look like that. You know, absolutely desperate and knackered. He's only been on the pitch 20 minutes.
Lorenzo's actually done all right since he's been on. He's been
That header
heavily
was gorgeous,
involved.
a little flick back, but that was a rancid. Is he? I take it he's right-footed.
Oh.
Oh no.
Nice little chop.
No foul. Well done, Trippier. Great defending.
Staying in.
Very good defender.
Come on, Lamella. A bit of urgency.
So we'll find out how much injury time there is imminently. Should be quite a lot of substitutions in the second half, and we've had a few injuries as well. So we're expecting probably
that's
4 or
late.
5 minutes, I'd imagine.
What you doing there?
Pogba less influential last 10, 15, but
Yeah, he's been quiet, hasn't he?
Probably
game
doing more
all
of the
round.
dirty work, isn't it?
yeah, a lot of track.
Tottenham Hotspur dominating the game in the second half.
10 shots on target. That's got to hurt, Smith. That's got to hurt.
10 shots on
We
target.
beat him in
10
kilometres as well.
saves.
You're winning the kilometre derby there, so, you know.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say.
There we go.
Oh, Rashford!
No, not like this. You say
Chance.
2 minutes of adding on?
Pogba at the end of the
On
box.
to Dalot, yes.
Overlap.
Yes.
Overlap. Oh, it's sneaking through. United
Come
are
on,
gonna get
Spurs.
second, aren't they, just to be absolute...
What's he done?
What's he
Rashford's
done
got to
there?
take that.
What?
Call.
Rashford, track back then.
Right, here we
90
go.
minutes on that.
90th minute mark. We are into injury time in the game, and the fourth official is putting up.
Oh, yeah, he's winning everything up there.
We'll find out how much injury time there is imminently.
Reminds me of...
Ander Herrera rolling back the years.
Injury time to
Rolling
be
back
played.
the years. Oh, no! He just did a no-look pass. Oh, Ander Herrera, tease me, you little Spaniard.
That's the best moment of the game, that.
That is unbelievable.
Oh.
Come on then, Spurs.
Spanish imp even. Wow, that was brilliant from Herrera.
Oh, classic time wasting here.
Look at that as well. That gave him cramp. That was so
Smart
good.
with cramp.
He's
Cramp in both legs.
He's such a
That's
master
so
of the
good.
dark arts, isn't he, Ander Herrera? You know what I'll do after you're creating a chance? I'll go down.
Yeah.
I'll waste another 30 seconds.
It's been all Spurs this second half, but United look like they're going to hold off for all 3 points. Big 3 points.
McTominay coming on as well.
McTominay coming on. Who do you think this will be for?
This
Pogba?
reminiscent
yeah,
of
it's
when
for Pogba, yeah.
Darren Fletcher used to come on, you know, just for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, steady the ship. Trusty.
4 minutes after
Trusty
that.
Scotsman.
Darren Fletcher had a lot of Premier League appearances, though, because he used to come on all the time. He had a lot.
Darren Fletcher was a talent, like, very good footballer, man. A little bit underrated.
Still reckon we would have beaten Barcelona in that final had he not got that
definitely,
red card against Arsenal.
Yeah, big time.
Scottish Iniesta.
McCubs,
anyway.
If United do hold on...
Oh!
Yeah, McCubs, if United do hold on for this... A lot of people were saying in the...
Playing for stats.
Not the criticism of United, but obviously it's been very positive. They've won all their games, but a lot of pundits, people were saying they have only played, Chris said it earlier, the Cardiff as the Huddersfield, that this was the real test, litmus test.
Sure,
if you do hold off and win this game against Spurs, who we spoke about Spurs' form earlier, this is a big statement, isn't it, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Your second.
It is, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's difficult. I still don't see him getting the job, but like I think this is just a really good sign for the rest of the season. I think. Obviously, yeah, we've played lower table opposition until now. We've rode our luck in this game, but it's a confidence boost, isn't it? It's a bit like when Emery was starting at Arsenal at the start of the season. A few games which are maybe a bit fortunate with, but it took the pressure off the manager so much, and it gives you that little bit extra time. Obviously keeps the dressing room happy as well. So yeah.
Ooh, mate, let's not speak too soon.
Yeah, but like whatever happens, I would have taken a draw at the start of the day.
Come on, then.
Come on, Spurs, I'll take a draw now, that's for certain.
We'll take
a draw. Last chance for Spurs, Trippier whips the ball in.
Llorente!
Thanks, Will.
Spurs are so good. Oh, here we go. Go on, Dele.
I thought that
Come on, Tottenham.
Go on, man.
Come on, Tottenham.
Oh, that is well class.
Shaw, get out to him, Shaw.
Yes, putting his body on the line.
Hugo's got
Coming
to
up
go
to the 93rd minute.
Where's Hugo?
4 minutes of injury time have been added. This is surely going to be one of the last chances of the game. Spurs fans looking on in anticipation. This can only be the last chance of the game. David De Gea has been world class. Surely he's going to pick up the man of the match award, but there is one last chance for Tottenham. Lamela and Trippier both standing over the corner. Interestingly that Lamela's going to take this, not
in-swinger. I've tried a few out-swingers, it's not really worked.
Looking for the in-swinger. Dele Alli's come short.
Where's Lorenzo?
Here we go, Tottenham. Come on,
Phil Jones is
absolutely.
going to clear this with his teeth. Come on, Phil.
Come on, you lily whites.
Come on, Spurs.
Here we go.
Can Tottenham score?
Yes, David, emerging from nowhere.
Take a touch, whippage.
Oh, that is grim!
When I say so.
Get it on your right!
That's like a falcon punch from Mario.
Throw it to Trippier. Trippier whips it in, please.
Please.
No, got to get it in earlier.
Lamela's.
Please don't go around him. Just whip it. Just whip it. No. Oh.
Whip it.
Get it in. Get it in. Please get it in.
Oh, it was good.
Lindelof again.
Look at Dele Alli.
To him.
One more.
Go on, Dele.
One more.
Come on, son. Show us what you got last game before you... International break.
Oh, that's the end, surely.
Oh, boys.
Lukaku chasing it. Oh, no.
That's time, innit, it, Ref?
That's grim.
No.
What a win, my Cubs.
Get it up. Get it up.
It's not over yet.
Last chance for Spurs in the 94th minute. It's up to Lorenzo.
Hit it, son!
Oh, it's a great ball.
Agonising.
It's a great ball.
What? This has been a great second.
Lorenzo should have hit that.
No, he did the right thing.
Unlucky, valiant effort. You've been so good that you create this many chances against like every top side. To be fair,
Yeah, but we lost the game. That's the only stat
maybe
that
more of an
really
even
matters.
spread. But yeah, you're right.
He should have hit. He could have
I
hit.
find it
That
more
just- that sums up
frustrating.
the
As a
day.
fan, I find it more frustrating when you dominate and don't win than when you play
United's
badly.
defensive performance has been
It's
better than
really
I
hard to
expected,
take.
Is really where I was going with that. United's defensive performance has actually been.
It's really difficult
Jones
to take
has
when you
been
played this well and got
pretty
nothing.
sound.
That's the
And
thing.
you know
it's
so
at least-
many Man United fans from Surrey.
Yeah.
that is
If
getting-
that makes you feel better, mate, then get him in.
You'll be glad to know that I'm from Middlesex.
That's got to be it. What's Mike Dean doing here?
There's got to be at least another minute because
Obviously not got a Sunday lunch waiting for him at home. He wants to stay for a few
that'll
extra
be the end
minutes.
of the game. No, it's not. Spurs with one last chance. Lorenzo's been brilliant since he's come
Oh
on.
my God.
Oh, it's on a free kick. Come
Phil
on.
Jones.
Yes! Ref already!
Come on, free kick, don't say that.
Phil Jones. Go on,
I'd
then,
have loved
Scott.
to-
Great.
There we go. Oh, this is fantastic from
Dalot,
Scott McTominay.
waste
Look
it.
at it.
Go to the corner.
Oh.
Do not try and square this to the
first
Oh,
forward
no.
Oh, no.
What? No, still in play.
Bring that down.
Oh, trashy.
Time.
Big.
Gentlemen, please.
Wow, what a
So
result.
that is the full time. Whistle has gone. There are two managers, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Mauricio Pochettino, embracing. It does finish Tottenham Hotspur 0, Man United 1 at Wembley. Thanks for that great goal from Marcus Rashford first half. Fair to say, Man United were the better team first half, but it was all Tottenham second half. A record amount of saves in a Premier League fixture for David De Gea. Most saves he's made in a Premier League game this season. Absolutely outstanding. Look how much it means to Man United. Going absolutely crazy. We saw Sir Alex Ferguson there in the crowd as well. And every Man United player going to David De Gea. And that is a big win. First Man United manager to win 6 games on the bounce. That man there, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, congratulations to them for winning. They did hold their luck, though, towards the end. And Man United fans very jubilant. Shows how far Spurs have come. This is what it means to Man United as well, beating Spurs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's 7 years since we've beaten you at home, at your ground, sorry.
Look how happy Juan looks. Didn't get a minute.
buzzing, isn't he?
Didn't get a minute. But
Nicest man in football, isn't he?
happy as Larry.
Oh, no.
no.
He's out for 6 weeks.
This is a worrying sign. This is actually worse than the result for Spurs fans. Harry Kane injured. Harry Kane is that. I don't know what led to that because
That season
he was
over.
involved in a chance in the very last
I
minute
think
of
he
the game.
overstretched, though, didn't he, for that Llorente?
Right, pick your top
it's been
four
a-
without Spurs in
It's
it.
been a bad day for Tottenham because Dele Alli had that slight injury that he played on. Sissoko got injured, and now the main man for Tottenham, of course, Harry Kane.
Probably the worst day. Worst imaginable.
Yeah, he's
maybe,
down
isn't it?
injured.
Kane out for 8
Maybe
weeks,
ever.
apparently, I'm hearing in my ear.
Kane
will,
out for the season. Was it?
Let's go social corner, Will. What they say?
But everyone wanted to know your man of the match vote. It's obviously David De Gea.
David De
ranked
Gea,
highly,
yeah.
but Ander Herrera, Michael.
No,
Ander
David
Herrera
De
was
Gea,
I thought Ander
easy.
Herrera and Pogba were both fantastic. It's hard to look by David.
Oh, no, that doesn't look good, does it?
Isn't it?
There's no
this
amount
work-
of ice that's
Get
going
the
to fix that,
stretcher.
mate.
Get the
This
stretcher.
is a week by which Spurs have an FA Cup fixture, a Carabao Cup semi-final and league games. All in the next 2 weeks, we've got so many fixtures and the injury list is piling up. And that is a sight that we do not want to be looking at. Harry Kane
Might have to
limping.
give Fraser Canberra a call. Question here, very aptly from Charlie Bottle. Are Spurs officially out of the title race now?
Yeah, big time.
That's the way they write them.
Mathematically, no, but I think realistically, yes.
Yeah?
I don't think. Sure. Did you actually think at any point you were going to win the title this season?
Well, we'll have a look at the Premier League table shortly.
Manchester City and Liverpool are on a
Spurs
different
are only
level.
Spurs are only
Yeah,
2 points behind
but-
Man City.
They're on a different level, mate.
They are. That's Man City.
Oh,
are
Ollie's
a
just
more
gone over
complete
giving it
team. But there is only 2 points behind the team that everyone expects to win the league. So I don't think they're not mathematically out of it. I just think that the strength, the squad depth that Man City have over Spurs will be huge come the end of the season.
I think it is amazing that Spurs are keeping this kind of pace. Obviously,
Yeah, it
today,
is.
but they're keeping this kind of pace when you made no signings last summer.
Yeah.
It really is, and I think it is testament to the club as well. You know, you could, fans moan about signings not coming in, but the ability to keep players like Eriksen and Kane and Ali,
Who
during
seem
this
happy
period,
as well, these players,
and
yeah.
it's paid off. Like,
He's almost
it's paid off.
becoming like a victim of his own success in many ways, Pochettino, because the fact that people expect Tottenham to be title contenders,
Yeah.
given how many signings Manchester City and Liverpool
Yeah,
made.
exactly.
As Pochettino, that must be a great source of frustration.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just like, people should be like, a top 4 finish is fantastic.
Yeah. The only positive I think from this game is that it might mean that we start spending in jam, because if Dembele's move to China apparently is going to go through next week,
Yeah.
plus the fact that we've had injuries today, 2 or 3 injuries today, with the list that we've already got, he might go to leave and say we need to sign players.
sign some players.
That's the only positive I can take. from today.
And Son's going as well now. Kane out.
Son is that is
How long is Son
Kane
away?
out for
Son
the season
misses
as well?
5 games.
5?
Yeah,
What are they
Son
doing?
goes. Yeah, I've got it in front of me here. Son is where is it here?
That's how well they do.
He'll meet up with South Korea squad at the Asian Cup after today's game. He's likely to miss 5 Tottenham games, 3 Premier League fixtures whilst on international duty because Spurs are in both domestic cups. The tournament finishes on February the 1st. Also worth pointing out, he's not going to be. He's going to be knackered when he comes back. So match finish. It's going to take him a while to.
What did they just win, though? Hasn't he just been out?
That was the...
That was the Asian trophy, wasn't it? Asian
excuse,
Games. sorry.
excuse my ignorance.
This is
but
the
like-
Asian Cup. That was the Asian
Wow.
Games. So Heung-min Son, the amount of football Heung-min Son has played in the World Cup, the Asian Games and the Asian Cup from the summer to now, plus all the Premier League
between the Asian game and the Asian
if
Cup.
that doesn't, if that's not testament to how good he is for the amount of football, and also the travelling he's got to do. The travelling he's got to do.
Yeah, it's huge. It's worrying though, 'cause you feel like he might burn out at some point.
Yeah, that is the worry.
But
Smithy, with Kane out indefinitely and Son going to the Asian Games, will Spurs miss out on the top 4 now?
No, I don't think we'll miss out on the top 4. I think we should finish 3rd before today, and I think we'll at least finish 4th at worst.
But if Kane is out for a while, you're in massive trouble.
We don't know that he is, but I think we've got. I don't.
Did you not see him on the stretcher at the end?
We've got Lamella Moore. We've got options up there.
Yeah.
Son can play as a false nine.
Yeah. No, I agree, but they're not Kane, are they? If Kane is out,
I think they're a lot stronger than. I think United and Arsenal are a lot further behind. I think Arsenal are way behind.
Yeah,
way
fair
behind.
enough. But
With that said, though, Dave, we can have a look at the table. So this is how the Premier League table looks after the fixtures. Liverpool stay top, 7 points clear of Man City. Spurs remain 3rd. So Spurs are now 9 points behind Liverpool. They are in 3rd. Man City with that game in hand. Man City play Wolves in the Monday Night Football live on Sky tomorrow. Chelsea now only a point behind Tottenham, so it's very tight. But look at the gap between 4th and 5th, Dave. 6 points and the goal difference as well. Arsenal equal with Man United, who are clawing it right back. So a bit of a gap between 4th and 5th. But United are a team in form under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 6 wins on the bounce. Let's have a look at the bottom half of the table. Huddersfield struggling, rock bottom, 11 points from 22 games. Fulham and Newcastle make up the bottom 3, with Cardiff and Southampton 1 point above the drop zone. Let's talk title race then.
I was about to say, I feel like 35 points guarantees you safety at this rate. Looking at the teams at the bottom, the title race. Go on, who you have?
Are you still favourite? I would, from that result now, I think City will win the league.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
What are you thinking? I think if Liverpool had got a point in that game, I think that psychologically that game was massive. I think I place City favourites following on from that game.
It was at the Etihad, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they would have factored that into their...
Yeah.
the City, but
tough game against Wolves tomorrow as well. But
that is a tough
I
game.
do agree. I think City will win.
I think the thing is, when any team has had a long unbeaten run and you lose, it has such a psychological effect on you.
It's a big win yesterday.
Yeah. So again, they'd bounce back.
Yeah.
But I think, Pep Guardiola is normally gears his teams up to win better over the course of the season than Jurgen Klopp, but it's very interesting now, given the depth that Liverpool have. Oh, just watching Dele Alli.
It's a nasty tackle that from Pogba on Dele, isn't it?
It is nasty, but...
that is a red card, isn't it? Pogba goes in, studs first on Dele's knee. Yeah. Let us know if you've seen that as well in the comments. I mean, Man United lucky to get away with the red card. The only thing I will say is I don't think Pogba's has intentionally gone in to hurt Dele there. I think it was a very quick turn of pace from Dele, but it studs high on the knee.
He probably
it's very dangerous.
His body in front of him, that might be being a little bit generous.
He's tall and lanky like myself. We've all been there. You probably just overstretched.
Is that a factor?
Yeah. I mean, me and Paul are on the same level of ability, and we've both been there. So
yeah,
I'll vouch for that.
So watching highlights. I mean, we're watching highlights. Every time I look at highlights, a David De Gea save.
Fantastic.
I mean, we're talking about man of the match. Surely he gets man of the match. There's only one candidate for me. He made so many saves.
Past him, really.
Yeah. I think David De Gea is definitely man of the match. But I just like to take a moment just to say how well Marcus Rashford's done. Because I remember it was on the Football Social beginning of December. We were saying this fella probably needs to go out on loan, and now he's got three goals in 3 games. He knows he's number 1 striker for Manchester United.
You put that down to the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, yeah, big time. And the fact is that he's actually taking his chances. He's done it.
And Spurs had better chances than Rashford had for that. We're looking at them now.
Exactly.
Kane won. It's very well taken there.
Go on, Smithy. People bringing into question the use of the diamond for Spurs today. Obviously, a lot changed when Sissoko went off as well, didn't it?
The one thing I will say is I think exactly what you went on to say, it completely changed because Sissoko went off. The diamond works really well because Sissoko does a lot of running and he breaks up possession. I thought Sissoko was one of our better players.
Are they going to show Pogba
at the first half, in the first half? So I think that massively affected the diamond. I think the diamond's worked really well for Tottenham. What the diamond's done well is it has linked Son and Kane together brilliantly, and it's also put Eriksen in a different position where he sits a bit deeper and can pick out brilliant passes. And he made one today, which is fantastic. The problem we got with it now is it's another injury, and we don't have as many the strength in depth that other teams have. And it's going to limit our options going forward in terms of personnel and formation because we've got injuries mounting up.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one, yeah.
Next, no Sissoko, no Kane, and no Heung-min Son for your next game.
That's true, very true. And Chelsea in the semi-final is a massive game, game.
And I'm a big Spurs fan, so I don't want to.
You don't care, do you? Any other questions? What's the overriding feeling on the chat? A lot of Man United fans,
Just
lots of
people,
saying?
lots of United fans asking about whether this would have been possible under Mourinho and just the change in atmosphere.
Good question, that.
Probably not, to be honest.
No?
Probably not. I don't think it would have been.
Why did you say that?
Just because we didn't see these kind of performances before. Like we to be fair to Mourinho, when we went behind in some games, Newcastle a case in point. Although Newcastle are pretty poor. We were good at coming back when we really needed to. But against a team of the quality of Spurs, like look at the game at Old Trafford, like lost that 3-0 despite playing quite well in the first half. There wasn't though it's a bit of a kind of cheap analysis, there wasn't that kind of belief before. I don't know. The players are enjoying themselves, aren't they? I just don't think you would have seen a performance like that from Pogba. Like we had today.
You look really solid.
And it was just quite, I don't know, it was just quite simple, wasn't it? We had quite a simple game plan and it just about paid off.
Yeah.
Just about.
The first game against Tottenham, you had Herrera in a back three, didn't you? And that felt like Jose Mourinho trying to make a point, and it felt like he was trying to make his personal battle over into his squad selection. Not bringing Paul Pogba on against Liverpool is case in point. Not thinking that he can impact the game was clearly a statement by Jose Mourinho, and obviously there's less of that. There's maybe less internal politics and less internal sort of beef. So it feels like it's simplified everything, which is...
Yeah. And to be fair, if Solskjaer has convinced Lukaku that he's fine, that he can be on the bench and Rashford can play ahead of him, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. Man management. At the start of the season, people were asking, when Lukaku was going through a poor run of form, should Rashford be starting ahead of him? Yeah. And I always said no, because Lukaku is clearly the better striker, which I still think he is in general, but obviously Rashford's in better form. And to be able to convince Lukaku that, Rashford should be starting ahead of him, and he doesn't seem to be having an issue with that, is a pretty...
Do you know what I liked when Ollie came in? Is one thing he said in his press conference was if there's players, obviously there was high-profile players you had on the bench at the time of the Mourinho, the Pogbas, Martials, Rashford on the bench. He said if anyone can explain to players what it's like being on the bench, it's me, because he was famous for being a super sub. That's brilliant. So,
yeah, for sure. That's a bit of specialist kind of experience he's got there, which
and he's got a lot
probably
of
does actually
bench,
count for something. Yeah, exactly.
Right, we can have a look at what's coming up on Sky, the Football Social. We will be back next Saturday. That'll be at 2:45 on Soccer M and Football Daily's YouTube channel. That's January the 19th, next Saturday. Loads of games going on next Saturday on the top and the bottom of the Premier League. So that should be a good show. So that is the end of the show, guys. I'm a bit gutted with the result, obviously, but enjoyable show, Hammer, wasn't it?
Yeah, mate. Always next time, isn't it?
There is always next time. McCubbin, you must be very happy, Man United fan.
I'm happy, yeah. I'm very satisfied. Yeah.
Dave, disappointing week for Arsenal.
It's a bit of a crap weekend, isn't it, really?
But you got the result you wanted, I think.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, no, I had absolutely lovely Snickers and other confectionery is available, right?
Okay, they are available. Yeah, Will, Social Corner, some good questions today?
Just gutted about Spurs, mate. Just can't believe it. Every year we do this.
Every year. On that note, that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next Saturday for the Football Social. Bye-bye.
Send them off! Send them off!
He's done.
Look who's refereeing! Look who's refereeing! 12 against 11.
Need a bit of Mike Dean magic, I think.
Going on a second!
But great.
Coming together there.
And that is making the best bits of it.
Yes, it is.
Oh!
Go! Is that
Oh, what's the ball?
Oh, chance!
Pogba coming back to McCubbin after
Chance
this.
for Rashford. Rashford! What a goal that is!
Involvement.
What a goal that is! Down. Oh, it's a yellow.
Look at that. I love that.
Technique on that.
There goes
That was very sassy.
There goes the
gambit.
That was like he had a 1920 cigarette in his hand that had a holder in it. Dished it out like that.
Is he going to boil it? Is he going to boil it?
Spread it.
David De Gea is keeping Man United in this game because he's very good.
I think he's got a sword, isn't he?
Oh, chance for Dele
Alli! David!
David De Gea with another save. Man of the match easily.